Welcome, friends, to another episode of High Rollers in Space! The regular Space, the D&D game here on twitch.tv/yogscast and twitch.tv/High Rollers D&D. I am Mark Sherlock Humes, as you all know. And joining me, my lovely friends, beamed
Special
directly
friends.
in, special friends. We have Rhiannon, Tom, Katie,
Hello.
Trot, and Kim joining us this week. We've got quite a few things to rattle through before we get into the adventure, and I do want to get into today's adventure because it's going to be a good one, I hope. First things first, let's see. First things first, a big thank you to our two sponsors this week, two recurring sponsors, two favorite friends that have been with us for so long. The first is D&D Beyond and NordVPN. Chris Trott, take it away.
Hello, everybody. I'm keeping things nice and simple today. Okay, it's fine.
No turning yourself into dice.
I spent a lot of time last week turning myself into a dice. So I'm just going to get straight to the facts. Keeping things simple and effective. So starting with NordVPN. I played GTA 5 online on stream last week. And guess what happened? I got DDoSed. I got DDoS, which is a denial of service hack on my personal IP address, which killed my internet and stopped me from streaming. And they put a missile on my dick, but that's a different thing altogether. But basically, through a game which I thought was relatively safe, they found my IP and they flooded my router with information until I couldn't go on the internet anymore. So that's pretty dangerous. And someone more malicious could take your IP and do even more malicious things with your home network. So I didn't have my NordVPN turned on, did I? But we've got a deal for you to protect yourself so that you don't make the mistake I did. I made a terrible mistake. You can get 70% off NordVPN if you go to our wonderful website, which is nordvpn.com/HRDND. It looks a little something like this. Wow.
Whoa.
And guess what? If you go to this specific website, you get a month free thrown in as well. So that's nice.
Free
month.
Don't
worry about being DDoSed. The IP address of your personal home network is protected because it goes through their servers instead. And also it gives you some extra benefits like accessing geo-restricted content. And if you know what that means some nice streaming services with different video libraries and stuff like that. But yeah, please check it out. That would support us as well as yourself being protected. That's NordVPN. Ding dong, NordVPN. Thank you. Very nice.
Oh my god, it's such a slick professional ad read. I'm just not used to it. I don't know what to do.
I'm waiting
Up
for
next,
it.
well, digital dice is an awesome feature that everyone was excited about and still is because it's getting updated all the time. I feel like another major update got a little overshadowed by it, which I feel deserves just as much attention. And yeah, this is another normal read too. So earlier this May, they did a monumental upgrade to the character service, which means your character sheets, character builder, and things like that. They've rewritten a lot of the underlying code for character sheets, making them snappier, faster to load than before, and just way more efficient and optimized. I've got some nerdy stats for you if you're interested in that sort of thing. So the time it takes to load a character sheet on average has gone down from almost 6 seconds to 2.5 seconds. And less than half.
What an increase.
Whoa!
And the response time is down from 150 milliseconds to 45 milliseconds, which is much faster. Now, my PC, obviously, is running this whole stream setup. So let's see how quickly I can load Lucius on my horrifically over-bottlenecked PC right now. Click and view.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Boom. Not bad. Considering my CPU is currently saying,
you have.
warning CPU overload right now, and that's not bad. And I've got 5 people connecting to my internet right now, so that's not bad. And it's much snappier.
Yeah.
And if you click on stuff, like, just go have a play. And also, I've got Beyond 20, which I think slows it down as well. The third-party injected plugin, which for Roll20. But yeah. Please go check it out. You'll notice that if you haven't been on it in a while, it might be way snappier, more responsive than before. dndbeyond.com Thank you.
That's a big thing. Actually, like D&D Beyond, when it first came out, didn't have anywhere near the same level of like features and just functionality and content on it. They've got a ton of stuff still for free due to COVID. You can still get okay, very good Trot. He had to bring it out. They've still got stuff like Dragons of Icespire Peak, which is all available for free if you want like a good free introductory adventure. That's all available for free over on D&D Beyond, our good friends. And just a big thank you to both them and NordVPN. They've been sponsoring High Rollers for a really long time now, and it's thanks to those guys that we get to do this awesome thing as a career. So thank you guys. Thank you for your sponsorship. Kim, you have something exciting to tell us about.
Hey, I have something very exciting. Nova is finally coming to Idle Champions. Hooray!
Yeah.
There we go. So we've already got Quill, Ayla, Sentry. Now Nova is joining, and Lucius will be later this year. So yeah, she's joining the week commencing 1st of June. So we'll have an exact date soon, but it's the week commencing 1st of June. We're going to be doing like lovely launchy stuff around that. So I'll be doing a special stream on High Rollers with other people in High Rollers.
Someone will be there.
And yeah, I'll be doing an interview with the Idle chaps and chapesses. Yeah, so keep an eye out on the week commencing 1st of June, because Nova's going to be up in your game. And doing stuff, doing really cool stuff.
Game's free.
Game free.
Yeah,
free
game's
game.
Free.
Also,
game's free. Yeah.
As always, all the High Rollers characters, if you have the High Rollers characters, they work better together. So adding more of them to your team lineup will improve them. And then, yeah, hopefully we'll get Lucius. And then maybe one day Mark Humes will get a character in a video game as well. Maybe one day.
I did make a suggestion to them. I did make a suggestion to them for you.
I've made some suggestions, but we'll see.
Make your own game.
A couple of very quick things. Katie, do you want to quickly mention merch? We did talk about it on Strahd, but let's do a mention here now as well about like delivery times and stuff.
So if you have ordered any of our lovely new merch, so the 2 limited edition t-shirts, we've got the Nova one, the Aerois one, and we have got our new mugs. If you've ordered anything recently, due to the current situation, shipping times have been a little bit longer, unfortunately, due to supply issues. If you have sent a message to Fresh Merch, please just bear with us. They deal with all of their customer service in-house, and poor Dylan has been inundated with messages since lockdown went into effect, and they're trying to get through them as quick as possible. So please, just bear with us. We really appreciate all of your orders, and we're trying to take care of you guys as best as we can within the parameters of what we can do in a work.
Yes.
Thank you.
You will definitely get your stuff. We will just try and let you know as soon as possible. We'll try and respond to stuff as soon as we can, and obviously it's heavily dependent on things like suppliers and delivery companies and stuff like that. So, but you will get it. We will make sure you get it at some point. So thank you for that. And then 2 quick little things from me. If you ever had any interest in playing the Guardian race from Aerois, you can now grab that over on my Patreon, not the High Rollers Patreon. Like most of my homebrew design stuff goes on my Patreon, because then that gives me money and time to do stuff in my spare time. So you can check that out. That is a paid for thing. So if you are a $5 tier, you can get access to the Guardian PDF. There's a load of other High Roller stuff on there as well. But also, if you want to grab something for free, because I enjoyed the season finale of She-Ra so much, I went and made a Oath of Love Paladin, which is inspired by She-Ra, and so shows like Sailor Moon and a lot of other magical girl stuff. So you can go and grab that, and that's free. Everybody can grab that. I've had some friends help me balance it and give me some feedback, and I think it's in a pretty good state. So if you were interested in that, you can go and grab that. And then the last thing, which I need to grab a thing, is I mentioned them briefly. But also, these just came out. This isn't sponsored. WizKids just sent me one of these to check it out and give them my feedback. This is a new set of dungeon tiles, kind of like other products you might have seen. There's a little video on my Twitter. You can check it out. This whole set, which is like a whole good dungeon set, is like $99, and it's probably the cheapest way of getting these kind of D&D tiles on your gaming table. They've got a ton of accessories that have just come out. It's all up for pre-order in the US, and if you're in the UK or elsewhere in the worldwide, check with your local retailers and online retailers. They should be getting this stuff as just in stock. Like, you can just go to a shop and order it and buy it and as normal. So go and check that out. It's actually really good. I wouldn't talk about a product unless I actually thought it was good. So
Not
go check that out.
Just very cool.
Yep, that's it. Not sponsored, just very cool.
That was a lot of things.
Yep. That was a lot of things, which is why we are now going to go to the Dun-Duns.
Dun-dun.
Last time on Aerois, our heroes have made an unexpected planar visit to the world of Elysium, an angelic planet that is now controlled by the Valkyrian Empire, and they are in search of a way home to Aerois. While searching for allies, they met with the Wings of Ishtar, a rebellious group of Celestials who sought to do what they can to fight back against Callus and find a solution to the threat of Hadar. Their leader, a Solar called Zelian, has offered his aid despite some of the party's suspicions, and has proposed a plan to infiltrate one of Callus's main warships and rescue their friend Valor. With preparations needed to initiate the dramatic rescue, the party returned to the planar port to meet with their captain they have hired to take them home. Captain Thalia and her astral ship, the Twin Star Longbow, meet them, and with a desperate escape pursued by Valkyrian forces, they manage to board and jet off into the great astral beyond. And that is where we begin today's session. Throughout the sleek, deep red and crimson interior of the astral ship, a faint but consistent hum of magical energy lingers on the very edge of your awareness. The main lounge you find yourselves in is a comfortable space with a few long cushioned benches and chairs with soft white lighting. A large white cat is curled up in one corner of the room atop a thick woven rug, whilst the sound of two people arguing echoes from a sleek, narrow cockpit that connects to this section. And I have a cockpit view for you over on Roll20. It's very basic, but it gives you the rough layout of the ship. Okay. There is a main lounge with ladders that go up into small kind of compartments. There is a gangway that kind of leads off, which has rooms sectioned to the side of it. And then there is a sleek, narrow cockpit as well. It is not a huge ship. It is technically a huge ship in D&D size, but it is not particularly spacious. Most of it appears to be the exterior of the astral, ship itself. There's not a lot of living space, is what I mean. And yeah, you guys are all together. Thalia and her navigator, the Imp Bim, seem to be in the cockpit arguing about something. You know that there is another crew member, a girl with wings and like clawed talons and hands, but she has not appeared. And then Big Cat, which is the large white cat that sits in the corner. And the rest of you are, all of you are in the lounge together. And that is where we pick up today.
Okay, so we had two choices. One, to go across the stairway route?
So the last thing that was discussed
is weird.
Yep, Nova's got it.
Yeah. The infinite stairway.
That is one of the ways of traversing planar space.
And then it was the Styx.
Yes, which is a kind of subplane that rests between the Styx itself. You don't know too much more about them, but you could easily just go and ask Thalia or Bim, who can explain it.
Yeah.
And I believe we had decided off camera was you wanted to go with the Styx, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
Because the things there. I can't remember the name of the things, but we could potentially get away from those. Whereas the Starbane Valkyrian ship, like, they're going to catch up to us, right? Illithids, that's the
players.
one. Yeah.
So
they sounded
we can
fun.
potentially get away from them. So
you're basically what you're talking about is it's like you can either take the heavily patrolled, militarized freeway, which is the staircase, where you're going to have checkpoints and, you know, citadels and, you know, defensive bases designed, you know, that is controlled by the Valkyrian Empire. And you might be able to outrun them, you might be able to avoid them. The other option is the kind of illegal underway or the illegal kind of side roads, which is the Styx, but you're more at risk from things like pirates, criminals, raiders, and mind flayers.
That's okay, we're pirates
you
now.
could come across. Well, that is a thing.
Right.
So yeah, and I believe like you guys have settled on traveling via the Styx, but you need to let Thalia know. And there's might be other stuff you guys want to ask about. There might be stuff that you want to do. You don't really know in terms of things like sleeping arrangements. You haven't had that discussion yet either. So yeah, it's also a chance to explore the ship a little. Get to know where you're going to be for the next few astral days.
Lucius is taking a back seat currently because he fainted with the dawning realization that he's in a tiny hull with the vacuum of space just millimeters outside. So he's sitting in this lounge,
Astral
head
space.
between his legs, just recovering.
Breathing deep. Yeah. Okay. All right. So Lucius sits there with his head between his legs, taking some deep breaths, panicking.
That's deep
Team,
breaths.
team, group huddle, team huddle,
okay,
team
okay.
huddle.
Yep.
Okay, huddle.
Oh, this is the best. We're in space.
Don't remind me.
It's fine, Lucius. It's fine. Deep breaths. Before we decide what to do next and get ready to do all this like Tassadar stuff, blah, 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 Wings of Ishtar, Resistance to should we call home or your home? My home? I don't know anymore. Is it my home? I don't know. Should we call Aerois and maybe use the sending and be like, hey. Little bit off-world at the moment. Try not to get the ship impounded.
Oh, the ship is 10 out of 10 impounded right now. We've been gone for a little while.
I gave her money.
The ship's gone.
I gave her extra money. Don't you
Yeah,
remember?
but how
I gave her
long-
extra money.
How long have we been gone in comparison to how
Aerois-
long we've been in
Well-
space?
Then
I mean,
let's ask
a day,
Aerois.
right?
And
A day
sure
here,
as well-
anyway.
I'm sure Aerois as well is smart enough that if we weren't going to turn up, she's just going to, she's not going to let the ship get impounded. That's
The
her.
ship? I just didn't think of the ship being impounded. So much has happened in such a short amount of time. We put so much time and effort into that. You had dreams
Okay.
about it, Quill.
So,
With Ayla
So-
holding some rods and going through the Valley of Storms. Is that all changed now?
it's still possible. The only difference, remember, Sentry in the dream had the glowing orb that she has now. The future is still on track. That future, anyway.
Oh, cool. So
the only
still,
difference
still
is the
gonna be
gun.
like a little human kebab thing going on with the lightning.
Yeah,
Excellent.
exactly. That's still going to happen.
Elf.
But
Elf.
That
Elfin.
fills me with hope. That means we're all going to not die in the vacuum of space. We're going to land somewhere and end up back on our ship.
yeah, I mean that
Then
possible
die
future.
in the Valley of Storms instead.
Well,
It's better to die on Aerois than not, right? Optimism.
Technically we can die anywhere at any time, so really it doesn't matter. Just take your pick where we are. It's fine.
Given how much all of you have already been through, I think that you're all very painfully aware of the risks of the universe and being heroes.
morbid.
Is this reassuring you, Lucius?
No. Head back
Okay,
between his
now
legs.
how...
Still at the blacksmith. as
Go on,
well.
Sentry.
Sorry, what was that?
I think Harold's still at the blacksmith's. I don't know if
Yep.
if she's ready. I don't know if she's been.
Oh crap! I
fixed
forgot
yet, but
about Harold. Oh no!
I hope they're okay. I hope she's managed to get picked up. I mean, she's
Aerois is smart, okay? If we've only been away for, well, a day, then they're probably still where we left them. If we were away for longer, I think she's smart enough to pick up Herald and then go looking for us. I can send her a message, but remember, I only have 25 words. I need to, in 25 words, explain that we have been jetted off to the other side of whereversville, and we are going to be back, but we're also in space, remembering that Aerois and the rest of Aerois doesn't really know about the Astral Sea, so I kind of have to explain the concept of the Astral Sea to her as well.
I mean,
honestly,
I feel like
it's us. I feel like whatever we say, they'll be like,
yeah,
okay, they'll be back.
I mean,
Like,
she knows
I feel
that
like
we were in
they're
space
used to us
Aegis
being
5. Yeah.
They're used to us being an absolute mess, and therefore it'll be fine. We don't need to go into the like minute details of being in astral space. We can just say, yeah, got shifted somewhere else, trying to get back. BRB, you know.
Yeah. You're in charge.
Okay. Okay,
yeah.
I'll draft a message.
Tom, I think it's time that Quill developed a compression alphabet, which is where you can fit more knowledge and more words into 25 words.
Well, that's the beauty of Aarakocran language, right? Is that Aarakocran messages, they can send things in like 3 squawks, and that tells a novel. Whereas Common...
Yeah, two other Aarakocra, yeah. It's a shame Orion's not another Aarakocra.
Yeah.
We need to get... So what you're saying is we need another Aarakocra on the ship. Like, we need
maybe
a bird on the ship, purely so that if we get trapped in astral space, we can tell them the entire story and everyone knows the full details.
In Oran, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, also, you need to be aware...
Let's focus on getting that. Let's focus on that.
There is a chance the message might not actually be received, but I can keep casting, I suppose.
Yeah, you can. I believe it is a 5% chance.
I mean, I could try with Dream as well. I mean, it would. I don't know if she'd be sleeping. I don't know what on earth the time zones would be doing, but it's worth a chance. And then I could just show her.
You know that Dream won't
Nova's
work.
wrong. Dream won't work because we're completely in the wrong plane. So
because this has come up before that you've learned that Starbane has tech that allows him to do it across planes because normally he can't. Same with teleportation circles. Normally they don't work across planes, but there is Magitech that obviously allows the Empire to do so.
It's been a really long day, so just ignore what just came out my face there.
Yeah. I just don't want you wasting it when you would know it
tired.
would not work.
It's a small rest slot. It's
you hear kind of like meow as this very large cat is looking at your conversation. The best way you could read his face is annoyance. He's kind of looking you annoyed. Meow. And then it kind of puts its head back and tries to go back to sleep.
I forgot there was a huge cat in this.
Sorry.
This spaceship with us.
Honestly, I think that the cat's like quite... I think the cat's quite cool. I'm quite comforted by the giant cat. I think,
it looks very fluffy. But it also looks very dangerous. What it is.
I think that
it
comforts
does look very
me.
fluffy. Yeah. There is a couple of more sort of like, you can overhear like the kind of echoing sounds of arguments, and then a small red-skinned little tiny figure kind of wearing very thick bottle glasses comes walking down into the main lounge from the cockpit. And he kind of adjusts his big glasses. You can see he's got one hand is holding a crystal slate, very similar to the one Nova has recently acquired. And he is like, we think that we've put in a basic navigation route to start making our way to where I think your planet is. The captain's got some things that she needs to discuss with you, just to go over. I think she mentioned something about a final payment waiting on. And also, there's just a couple of things that you should just be aware of around the ship. So maybe you should go and speak to her while I get things ready.
Okay.
And kind of adjust his big glasses.
What's our clearance level for this ship? Where can we go? Do we just stay in the lounge and just...
He kind of looks... He looks very confused at you. He's like, it's not a big ship. You can kind of go where you want, just don't touch stuff unless you ask, I guess.
Okay.
What do you think this
okay.
is?
It's just. Well, if we had outsiders on our ship, we'd be wary. It's just being courteous is all.
Well, the fact is that none of you really know how any of this stuff works, and if she wanted to, the captain could seal the cockpit and just vent you all into space. So.
Oh.
Really?
That's fair.
So she's not really that
okay.
worried. I mean, she's dealt with. I'm not a fighter, by the way. I'm like a scholar. There's a reason that I'm here and not anywhere else. The captain's dealt with people far worse than any of you before, I think.
Okay. Okay.
Reassuring.
Okay. Don't vent. Please don't vent.
Why are you talking to me about this? I'm just a navigator. And he kind of begins making his way. And you can see that there's a small child-sized chair that is his. And he kind of sits in it. And it's not like a high chair, but it's like a little, it's like a small micro chair. And he kind of scrambles up into it, gets his little slate out, and he just starts looking at his slate. And you can see it's covered in maps and little pieces of text and writing. And he's just kind of like analyzing it. He looks like a toddler with an iPad, but yeah, he's a tiny little devil. With big
He's listening to Baby Shark. Okay, I've got a message to send to Araya.
Okay.
Which has a 5%
Anything from
chance
anyone
of
else?
failing. So
Before Tom does that, or do you want to just let Tom do that and then crack on?
Let Tommy do his thing.
All right.
So 5% chance. How do I do that? I guess a natural one on a
So
D20, right?
No, D100, and then if it's 0 to 5,
87.
nope, goes through.
Okay, I send to her, clear skies, teleported by a Hadar. Whoops! Going to be a while to get back to you. Stay safe, stay vigilant, stay calm.
Okay.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah.
It's like you're trying to encourage yourself to stay calm while you send a message to her. You're like,
I'm calm.
Stay calm.
I'm vigilant.
Yeah, actually I've got an extra word, so I say calm again.
Okay. A few moments go by, and a response comes. Okay. You've not been gone very long, but yes, I will keep the ship safe. Clear skies.
She knows the code.
Do
Yeah,
we
I'll
know
communicate,
how long
sure.
you've been gone for? I know she said not long, but
that's-
is that hours?
No.
Days?
She didn't say. She just said you've not been gone long. You can send another. You can try another sending spell if you like.
Maybe ask about Harold. Like, make sure they pick up Harold.
Yes, please.
Could you pick up the toddler from daycare, please? Thank you.
It's like
Parents
it's
have
like,
gone on
oh,
a
I forgot to pick up
outing.
Harold.
Yeah.
He's at a football practice, just sitting, waiting for his dad to come pick him up in the car. And it's raining.
We've just gone to the pub. We've just gone to the pub and like gone home, and
Fucks.
Harold's just there like.
It's all it takes is
That
a
guy.
sentence
Coming
of
soon,
reference.
right?
then
That
it's
got
done.
him.
Yeah, it's like
We're
that.
terrible people.
Right.
We're terrible.
Jokes aside, what are you guys doing?
I guess we're going to the
dear.
captain, right?
Yeah, let's go speak to
Yeah,
the
let's go to
captain.
Yeah.
There's no right. It's you tell me what you want to do. Okay.
No, that was a right
Those
to
two
everybody
be-
else.
Right. Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah, you can go and speak to her. The cockpit is a very slim, narrow section of the ship. There's seats. There's about 4 seats, 2 at the front, and then there are 2 behind those. But you can kind of crowd in. Sentry and Ayla are probably the ones who struggle the most, because it is, not particularly. Yeah, 2 of you, very large, strong ladies, fill the cockpit quite easily, whereas everyone else is kind of slender and small enough that they can kind of squeeze in. Yeah, you can see before, like, the main controls of the ship is a mixture of different crystals and runes inscribed onto this kind of crimson red metal. There are 2 large crystal spheres built into a chair, which Thalia has one hand on, and then with the other one, she's kind of tapping and kind of lighting up different runes on this section of the front panel. Her snake-like hair of her Medusa form kind of hisses softly, not aggressively, but in a kind of, you almost get the sense that they're alerting her that somebody is approaching or coming behind her, and she kind of turns her head to look around. Ah, yes, you're all here. Excellent. There's just a few things that we perhaps should go over. I wasn't expecting all of you. You don't all have to be here. If you don't wish, you can just remain. But if you wish to... Anyway, very well.
Is it going to tip the ship forward and we're going to sink?
No,
Do we need to distribute our weight?
Oh, no, bless you, you little backwater folks. No, it's not going to happen like that. You can please stop panicking. It's just upsetting. It's throwing off my vibe. I feel like I need to drink with you freaking out all of the time. No, you're perfectly fine. You're perfectly safe. If you wish, I've prepared there are 2 crew quarters at the back of the ship near engineering. There are 2 rooms prepared for you. They have a bunk bed in each, and then I've prepped a secondary cot. You will obviously need to share. I leave that decision up to all of you. The mess is next to your rooms. You'll find ample amounts of dried foods and supplies. I expect you to cook for yourselves. Neither myself or Bim will be able to entertain you. This isn't a passenger cruise. You have booked passage. I will deliver you, but I expect you to help out around the ship where you can. Look after yourselves. Keep it clean. And if we get into any troublesome situations, I expect you to help. If that's clear.
Yes.
Clear.
Perfectly.
Now, in terms of what you can do, the best things around the ship that you can assist with, Bim is an excellent navigator, but he's not very good at much else. I generally try and keep the ship going by myself, normally. You might encounter Kyrie. She doesn't do very well with people. She's a little bit nervous around others. But she's a good gunner, so she'll normally take one of the turrets. But there is one remaining. If we get into an encounter, it would be useful if one of you jumps in that. There is also the engine room. Do any of you have any experience with Magitech?
Ooh,
yes, the Ganassi.
me?
Yes, you look quite excited
Maybe?
about it all.
I think I do.
Yes?
If I don't, I can learn.
Yes, Bim can show you the basics, but I'm sure you'll wrap your head around it. It's based on similar Magitech properties that you may have encountered. But yeah, speak with Bim. And then one of you perhaps could sit up front with me to assist as a co-pilot. I can run you through the basics of that if necessary.
Quill,
okay.
you should do that. You can see everything. That's true.
I don't really
I'll
care
do that.
who it is.
Okay. I could do that, yeah.
Excellent. It shouldn't be necessary unless we get into a problematic situation, shall we call it. But
Okay.
just so you are
Okay.
aware of your stations, Thalia looks at Sentry and Ayla and Lucius. Amongst the 3 of you, yes, like I mentioned, there is one turret. Anybody can fire it. It doesn't require any particular skill. You'll get the hang of it, so I leave that to you. And then the other 2, perhaps one of you can assist in engineering. Sometimes it requires a little bit of brawn, and you can see her eyes flicker to Ayla and Sentry to help with repairs. But I leave this to your discretion. What else?
Do you,
Prepare those... Yes.
Do you need a morale
Mr.
officer?
No.
Oh. Okay. Oh, okay. No, that's
Why
just...
would I need such a thing?
That's
I feel like
how
I
we
need
did
that.
it. Okay. Do you have a salute?
Moving... No, we don't have a salute, no. What?
You want one?
You are very strange. No, I don't want to salute. Why would we want to salute? It's a waste of time.
To recognize superior officers and things. You are the captain.
We don't have superior officers. I'm the captain. It's my ship. All the rest of you do what you're told. That's it.
Okay. I'll salute the storm chaser salute to her.
Oh, for goodness
That's our
sakes.
salute, Quill. Don't give her a secret salute.
Okay.
I'll do whatever you tell me to do.
Eyebrows.
You are quite an eclectic bunch, and you can see she reaches down, pulls out a flask, takes the lid. Good. There is a bathroom. It's next to my quarters. Don't go into my quarters uninvited. I don't think I need to explain basic social manners to you all. There's a cargo area which has got a bit more room if you want to stretch out or do some exercising. I have some basic equipment in there for fitness. That's pretty much it. Don't touch things unless you know what they do. Otherwise, just behave yourselves, I suppose. The last thing that we need to discuss is my payment, my final payment. And she kind of leans back in her chair.
Yes.
I mentioned this to your Ganassi friend.
Oh, me.
Once I deliver you, I expect some form of payment once we arrive. This could be the form of, ideally, some sort of powerful magical relic. Ideally. Something rare, not something particularly common. I don't really have much use for things like gold and jewels and things like that, but magical relics are always useful. They can always be sold. There is another option. I could use your assistance with something. And if you assist me, I would be willing to share the profits of that endeavor. And also, I would consider us equal for your passage on my ship.
Hey, what's the task?
Well, it is... There's some elements of a personal nature to it. But the simple basics of it is there is a planet called Azagrat. It is something of a hedonistic den of pleasures and debauchery. And there is a place called the Argent Palace on it. It is a mixture of a casino and pleasure house. And there's a legend about it. A legend that I know is true. There is the owner of the Argent Palace has a game, a particular game, a legendary game. It's never the same. It's always different for each challenger, but whoever wins it receives 3 wishes. Wishes that can change many, many things, that can do a lot. I want one of those wishes. If you assist me in acquiring these wishes, I will give you the other 2 and consider our debt paid.
What do you know what the game is?
I won't know until I get there, unfortunately. I know that the owner of the Argent Palace is a powerful demon lord. Therefore, I expect the game to be rigged, which is why I require assistance. People that can help me avoid the cheats. Or perhaps, if necessary, simply find out where the wishes are stored and in what form and steal them.
Okay.
But you also have the option of, I simply require a payment just before we arrive at your planet.
Oh, well, I mean, we do have some magical items and things, but I don't know...
It would need to be something powerful. So you can show it to me and I will give you my verdict. But I figured that perhaps if you do not wish to part with something and you wish to gain 2 very powerful tools, then perhaps the offer of the Azagrat job is in your hands.
I do like the sound of the job, though trying to fight a rigged game against a... Do you know what happens if you lose?
There's all sorts of rumors about it. Generally, there are wagers involved in all sorts of things, such as souls and the like, but it is also possible that, well, Gratz has also wagered different things. I think that I have enough contacts in the world that I could leverage them. I think that I can at least get an audience with Gratz. But yes, I don't know. But it would be my life on the line, not yours. My soul, not yours. I simply need assistance.
Okay. If that's the
Of course, if
risk
I
you're
did
willing
happen to
take.
lose my soul, you would not have a ship to take you back to your planet, of course. So it would be in your interests to keep me in the fine condition that you see me in. And she kind of gestures down at her relaxed form and tight pants.
Does very fine condition indeed.
And I'm assuming this side endeavor, this won't take us too far off course to our, intended goal.
Well, let me show you the map. And she touches a few runes on her console, and she brings up a map of the multiverse, which I can show you on Roll20.
Oh man. Okay, and hey, if you want to see this, it will be on Patreon as well.
Yes, it will go on Patreon.
Podcast.
So she gestures. Now, this is a map that has been detailed by Bim, my navigator, using his knowledge, what he has learned, and also some guesswork on his behalf, but we're quite confident in it. There is not every location in the multiverse. This is only really the places that Bim and I know, and places that we can assume, based on legend and myth and that sort of thing. You can see that we are here at Elysium. And she taps the map, and you see like a small pulse around it. This is three-dimensional space, but this is a rough approximation of how everything can be located. Azagrat is on the way, as it happens to be. So it should not become much of a diversion to head there, if you wish to assist me. I know that you had mentioned little Ganassi wanting to travel to Ganas. It is possible. You can see it here. It borders the material core and the inner sphere. It is somewhat close to the Shadowfell Nebula, which is not an area of astral space I have any particular keenness to visit, and it is extremely close to Gideon Prime, the heart of the Valkyrian Empire. But it would be possible to divert there if you had a burning need to travel there. Of course, that would take us extra. That would require extra supplies and some extra, payment on my behalf to reach it. And also, if there is anywhere else you wish to go, or if you have any other needs for things, there is lots of adventure and interesting things that we can get up to in the universe. And she kind of waggles her eyebrows at all of you.
I'm guessing on this map, Aerois is on there, right? Like, it
has. Yeah. It's if you scroll down,
Bottom left.
Or zoom out. Yeah, it's the bottom left. You can also zoom out, and then you can see a little bit more of everything. Yeah, you can see it.
The legitimate place for it, or
you don't? How would you know?
Their guess. Okay, it's just their guess. Okay, cool.
Oh yeah, like she said that it's this map has been put together. Even Bim has said he thinks he knows where it is.
Okay, I'm just saying, like, the map doesn't just say, yeah, we're going the right way.
Well, no, of course it doesn't.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah.
What? Okay, how long, if we were to go to Azagrat and then Aerois, how long would the journey actually take?
Azagrat won't take us off of our course. We need to head in that direction anyway. I suspect, based on Bim's calculations, it will take us approximately 12 astral days to reach your world. If we're using slip space, if we're using the Styx or the staircase, which I believe that you would inform me you wish to travel via the Styx. I think that is a wise decision. The Styx, whilst rife with criminal scum, like myself, I would much rather deal with pirates and illithids than dealing with the Empire. The Empire has far more firepower, even if they don't suck out your brains and eat them.
Oh.
Okay. And brushing past that one, this ship, you said it could outrun illithids and pirates. If we do get into a fight, is it capable?
She makes a face when you say that. The Twin Star is a fast ship. It is a fast ship. If we encounter raiders and pirates, we will likely need to defend ourselves. That's why I have guns on the ship. Okay,
I'm just trying to judge if the two guns on this ship is impressive? You know, is it good compared to?
It's difficult to say, my young friend. You must understand that there are very many different astral ships out there. I have outfitted the Twin Star as best as I can, and they're good cannons. I have a pair of arcane lances, we call them. They are potent. They can be repelled by shields, or at least some of their impact can be absorbed by shielding. They don't stand up too well against things which are resistant to magic, but most ships don't have that sort of power. Things like raiders, they'll come in smaller attack craft. They're not very durable, but they're quick, and they have a strong cannon, normally just the one, which can weather us down if too many of them swarm us, of course. Larger ships, such as a Nautiloid, well, who knows what they can have. I've heard all sorts of tales of living ships and spell jammers that can do strange things. I'm afraid that I've yet to encounter one that I did not outrun. The other difficulty is if once we are in slip space, it is difficult to escape. Once we are in slip space, we are there until we can reach a breach point. So if we are attacked whilst we are in the Styx, we should definitely try and fight our way out of the situation.
Okay. The ship is capable. That's.
Of course. Of course, I would not have allowed you to come aboard if this ship was not capable. It is one of the finer astral ships that you can come across. It has a name for a reason. Ships don't get names without good reasons out here. And the Twin Star is a good ship. She's been with me for a long time. And you see, she kind of runs her hand. You know, she's got this pale skin, but you can see kind of like sections of it covered in scales. And she runs like a hand down the console with a very loving understanding. Like, you can see that this ship means a lot to her.
Let's throw up on somewhere else then, not on the console.
Yes, yeah. Definitely don't. Don't do that, or it might get vented.
I was giggling to myself because I realized that technically in my inventory I have the pylon golem Gatling gun, and I was like, let's just bolt that to the outside. But no, I'd like to think that I'd actually left that on the Storm Chaser to be fitted.
You do not have that.
Like,
you do not have that.
No, I don't. I don't.
Yeah.
Just had this idea of just like she just pulls this big gun out of her bag. It's like, let's just stick this on the outside. Boom.
Well, carrying a massive tech.
Yeah, and also you can't just stick stuff on the outside, Kim. Like, it doesn't work.
Fine. I'm sure there's crit stick here. Like, guys worry too much.
Yeah. So Thalia says, "Well, that's pretty much it for my briefing, I suppose. If there's anything else, if you'd like to know anything more about Astral Scene, I can always let you know. It'll take us about a day to reach a breach point for the Styx. They don't tend to manifest too close to planets, so we're basically on our astral engines until we can reach a breach point."
Okay.
A lot of different words being used.
Get settled in. We tend to use, my good man, we tend to, if you're in doubt, put astral in front of it. That's how most things seem to work.
Okay.
I feel astral woozy.
A fitting explanation. If you're going to be sick, make sure you do it in the bathroom. However, there's a cleaning stone in there for a shower and things like that, or if you wish to freshen up.
Okay. Thank you.
As a warning, I don't knock. I will just go in it when I wish. It's my ship.
Right. Fair enough. And
then she looks like, okay, we're done. You can all leave now. Why are you here?
Is the big cat going to attack anyone?
No, of course not. Not unless you try and harm me, anyway. Big cat's my protector. My bodyguard.
Oh. Can it understand us?
Yes, it can. He's quite intelligent. He can't speak, but he'll understand what you're saying.
Right. Good to know.
He tends to be a little territorial, so don't go in his corner.
I mean, There's not much territory to avoid.
And don't try casting spells on him either. I don't recommend it.
I wouldn't think of it.
Okay.
Good to know.
I'm
I
curious,
guess
what spells have people tried to cast on him before?
Oh, all sorts of things. They've tried to hit him with lightning bolts. They've tried to dominate his mind and turn him against me. But the species that he is, magic, he reflects it. He can reflect most minor magics back at the person who cast it upon him. That's why I have him as my bodyguard. And she kind of smiles, and the snakes kind of hiss.
Okay, I guess we'll discuss the Azagrat payment situation then and get back to you shortly.
Yes, indeed. And like I said, if you have any questions about, well, the worlds, about Astral Space, about the ship, you may come and speak with me. If you have anywhere else that you wish to go, come and let me know.
I'm sure you'll be seeing a lot of Nova.
Yes, of course. You're more than welcome, You're more than welcome, my dear. And she kind of like leans over and pats the co-pilot seat, and kind of looks at you from lidded eyes. More than welcome. But I understand you have some business to discuss.
We do. Okay, we'll be back when we have an answer for you.
Sure.
Thank you, Captain Farley.
Okay, just kind of, she kind of like waves and then goes and just diverts her attention back to the vast, empty astral space in front of her.
Okay. Right. I'm going to head into the living quarters.
Sure.
Or actually, I guess I'll head into the sleeping area and just see what that's like. The crew quarters.
Let's go check out our dogs.
Yeah.
Also, the big cat's kind of listening in the lounge area,
well,
right?
The
big cat's
We can always talk messenger ring.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
And not annoy Big Cat.
Yes, yeah. You got the impression less that he was trying to like listen in and be nosy, and more that he was trying to sleep, and you were all talking very loud, and he didn't like that. No, if you head to the back of the ship, Nova, you can see that there is a kind of ramp that leads down, where you can see the glow and hum of Magitech, and you can see Bim's kind of shadow down there. Which is where the engines and like the systems and the magic is kind of keeping the ship running. The corridor is split into two other sides. There are two guest quarters. They're not very big. There's enough space for a couple of like footlockers, a bunk bed, and one of them, a temporary kind of fold-out bed has been set up. And there is not much else. That's pretty much all there are in the guest quarters, in the crew quarters. Attached to these rooms is a small mess, kind of like a kitchenette, where there is like a little stove. There's, dried food storages, various kind of containers that seem to have basics, in them, and then like a little table to eat at as well. But yeah, these rooms are not big. These are not like big tavern rooms or hotel rooms. They're really just a bunk bed, a footlocker.
Like steel walls, grey beds, like metal frames.
Yeah. The beds have like mattresses. They have, they're not straw mattresses that you might have seen back on Aerois. They're more like what the Sky Cities would have. So they're kind of filled with, you don't know what they're filled with actually. Like as you touch the mattresses, they kind of are squishy. They're very soft and squishy, a little firm.
Springs,
but they don't appear to be filled with.
Weird.
No, there's no spring. There's no springs. There's no feathers.
Spongy.
It's just some sort of. It's spongy.
Astral sponge.
It's like a gel almost. You kind of get like a jelly kind of feeling, but it's firmer than that. But there's pillows which are filled with feathers. They just look like normal bird feathers. They're filled with. Maybe.
They have a bed
but there's normal
for
feathers
as well.
There's blankets, and then there's a fold-out bed. Well, she's just put 5 beds. She doesn't care who sleeps where.
So if you want a bed sentry, there is a bed.
Oh, yeah. I suppose I could give that a go. Not my chair
First
for
time
so
for
long.
everything.
Very true.
Do we do this fairly? So we could, I don't know, pull from a hat or something? Or we could all spin around with
Do
our
any
eyes
of-
closed, and whatever you point at, is the bed you get.
Well, we can just take turns at using the smaller one, or maybe.
I'll squish into the smaller one. It's fine.
Oh, you don't have to do that, Nova, but thank you. Yes, you will.
It's okay.
Yes, that'd be great. Perfect.
I think I
So
might
the
just
other one?
break
Sentry, I'd recommend Sentry bottom bunk for you,
Yeah.
Understood.
Okay, that's yeah.
just in
that's
case.
Yeah.
That's very true.
So I'm assuming
Okay,
you're going to
shall
go
we-
with the classic Quill Lucius in one room, Sentry Ayla in the other room, with Nova with them. Boys and girls.
Yeah.
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 I think the classic was
School disco.
Quill and Sentry. But yeah.
Oh, that's true. No, that's
Um,
true. It's normally Quill and Sentry. Yeah.
Either or. Okay.
Doesn't matter.
So
it's an
Payment.
irrelevant detail.
It's pretty irrelevant.
yeah. So payment for Thalia. Thalia.
Thalia.
Thalia.
Thalia.
Thalia.
Thalia.
So I mean, the most magical item we have to spare is what, the trident? But that's not really to spare. That was a gift. Do we have any other magical items we can give?
I've got Gadwin's hammer, but I feel like that's not really what she's looking for. I think she wants something
Not enough.
more.
Yeah.
Well, if
Look
you
at
want
Look at where
a
we've
lot,
been. We've been on Elysium with so much more impressive technology that was beyond any of us. She's
Look at this
expecting
data
but it's
slab.
not as interesting as things from Aerois that she's probably never seen before. That's probably why
Sequester
she
scroll.
wants it. Something. I don't really have. I'm not giving up my hammer. That is not an option. So we've got smaller
That's the
things,
thing.
but like you say, I don't think it's good enough for her.
I think the magical items, I don't really want to part with a sequester scroll, even though it'd be worth a lot of money. But also, wishes from this demon's game. I mean, if he has rigged it in his favor, what's stopping us from rigging it in ours? There's no way he'd know about the eye, depending on what the game is.
It's a demon, and
yes.
they're very much smarter than we are in terms of rigging things.
If it could be
I
detected,
feel like-
yes.
If it's a wish, there's got to be a lot of difficulty in getting that. That's quite a big prize. Surely that's going to be quite a dangerous mission, or whatever the game is going to be quite dangerous.
But then,
With
could you
faith,
imagine?
danger.
Could you imagine if we infiltrated the Tassadar with 2 wishes?
That would give us a huge advantage.
I'd
And
like
just
to
so you
wish
guys know,
Hadar not to exist.
Oh, well, I want to address this because
Here he comes.
there is, well, it's more that because, we all know the rules of D&D, and, we know that wish is a spell and there are magic items that grant wishes and stuff like that. You guys know in character, anybody, especially with any magic knowledge, Quill, Nova, Lucius, Sentry, I think Ayla's the only one who maybe wouldn't know this stuff off by hand. But there are always stories about like wishes and stuff like that have, these miraculous magical miracles that can happen. Generally, they can be very powerful. You can do a lot with them. You can't, for example, be like, I wish Hadar didn't exist. You can't do stuff like that with it. It's not that level of power. But you could be like, I wish we were all back on Aerois. I wish I had pieces of Tiangong. I wish blah, blah, blah. I wish my hammer was an artifact. I wish this person back to life. You can bring somebody back to life even if they don't have a body. I wish my family was back to life for Lucius. You could literally do stuff like that with it.
So it's stuff that...
But you
That's
can't
huge.
you
It's
can't
possible,
kill, you
but
can't be like,
really,
I wish
really hard.
Callus is dead. Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
You can't be like, I wish Callus was dead, right? You can't, control, you can't kill somebody, you can't reverse time, you can't do stuff like that with it. But you could do really powerful things like, I want to summon these things to me. I want to travel to this
Tiangong-do?
place. I want to bring my family back. I want to gain, make myself stronger. Like, you could increase your strength with it. There's tons of stuff you can do with it, but I just want to make sure you guys
And
are
I
aware
wish
of
for
what's
more
possible and
wishes.
what's not. No.
For fuck.
He did it.
That's
There's one.
It's a
always one.
hard-coded rule. You cannot
Oh, is it
wish for
really?
more wishes. Yeah.
Okay. Can I wish for a magic item that grants wishes?
You could try.
What happens if you cast a wish that it can't fulfill? Do you use the wish?
You don't know. But generally,
okay.
anything you ask for, it will try and provide the best it can. This means that doing things like I wish Hadar didn't exist could end up with disastrous consequences.
Yeah.
It could be like,
well, more universe.
Well, it's more like, oh, well, I can't make Hadar not exist, but I can summon him to you so you can kill him. It could do stuff like that.
This is the way to do it,
Yeah, this is how you do it. Yeah, it's monkey's paw, in a sense. Generally, if you're not asking for too much, it won't fuck you over. If you're asking for something which is achievable by another spell, if you're asking for something which doesn't have a selfish context to it, or like isn't asking too much of the universe, then you can probably achieve it.
And wording's important, right? Much like
again,
the eye.
It depends on what you're asking for. Wording, yes, would be important, but you don't need to like freak out and be like, well, we can't use it because it might fuck us over. Just don't do anything like, I wish Hadar didn't exist. I wish the campaign was over. Don't break the campaign and I won't fuck you over. Like, the meta-knowledge of that is basically, don't break the campaign.
I guess if you wish Hadar never existed, then it goes through a thing of like, well, if Hadar never existed, then you would never exist. And then I guess the universe would never be in this state.
Maybe it could do
Starbane would never exist.
Maybe it could do that. Again, yeah, maybe. You don't know.
And then everything, it just goes all the way back, and then suddenly, Lightfall campaign. Whoa, weird. That's a universe where Hadar never existed.
I wish our characters became aware that they are characters in a D&D show.
No. Say what? No!
So could we just wish we were level 20?
I'd literally... No, you can't.
Okay, good. I'm just making sure, like, the parameters.
Like I said,
all right.
If you don't break the campaign, you're going to be fine. If you're going to do something cool, I will reward you.
All right. Okay.
All right.
Nice.
So a little bit more like the coin that me and Ayla had. Or have, sorry.
More powerful, but yes.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
How powerful is the coin, though?
You don't know. You've not used it.
I know.
But could be something that you could use if you do try this mission. Could definitely be something useful. You are in the perfect place to kind of, if this is where Lady Duskwillow is from. She is somewhere out here in the Astral Sea. You might even meet her. Yeah.
So what is our next port of call? It will give me some confidence knowing what our plan is and what we're doing next.
The other one, I don't want to railroad you guys too much, but I'm going to just remind you that you also have the mission for Zellion and the Tassadar. And as part of that, he gave you 2 optional objectives that if you complete them will help you on the Tassadar. And that might be something you want to talk to Thalia about and figure out as well.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Good point. That is a gentle reminder.
We could wish for the schematics of the Tassadar.
You could. That is something you could wish for. Yes, absolutely.
Just for waste.
I wish that the Tassadar run out of power.
No, because Tassadar would be...
You can't teleport to it.
You've caught me, Kim. But yes.
Got him. Okay, but I like the sound of this thing. I don't think we have the magical items to give up. If we did gain 2 wishes, that's hugely powerful. And she's only asking for 1. We're getting a better end of this deal. It's just having to navigate a demon's bargain.
That's the problem. Okay. It's the lure of knowing that a wish is available which worries me. To have that as the dangling carrot on a stick suggests to me that getting it is near impossible.
But imagine the tactical advantage we'd have. Just imagine.
And it's such a good lure,
I could reform Tiangong. And then we'd have a member of the Triumvirate, and then if we free Tassadar, that would be 2 members of the 3 members, and then we could have the most powerful ally. I'm gonna need to lie down.
We could wish Hadar never existed.
We could all do a lot of things with a lot of wishes, but ultimately we need to get home.
True.
It's on the way. It's on the way. I'm just thinking about what we need a payment regardless, and I don't think we have a payment for her beyond going to this place, this Argent Palace.
I have nothing I can give.
We need to pay her. Either we find something or we do this.
We sort of outwitted Caradus before. Kind of. A little bit.
Wait, what?
We outwitted Caradus, remember? At the Callie's Rest under the thing. But, I mean, that was mainly Valor just bouncing us away and bringing Starbane to the planet. But, you know...
We were tied up. We did absolutely nothing in that situation. We got captured and really hurt. And Sentry died.
Yes. I love the optimism, though.
Quill, as this conversation is going on, you guys are in one of your quarters. I'm assuming you guys are having this conversation like crammed into a small quarters somewhere. Quill, you hear like the sound of what sounds like claws on the metal of the floor. And just kind of glancing out the door, you can see lurking in the lounge, kind of peering around a corner in the direction of where the crew quarters are. You see, she can't be sort of like older than sort of like 18, 19. But you can see like a humanoid face. She's kind of got like these quite narrow, thin eyes. And she's kind of peering around, and her hands are like these big claws. And a feathered wing is kind of around her. And she's nervously kind of just like looking in the direction of the crew's quarters. But she doesn't think you don't think that she's seen you or any of the others, but she's just kind of looking in your direction.
We're a friend! We're a friend!
Wait, you saying that as Ayla?
No.
Okay.
No.
Ayla would never say verb.
I think Thalia said that she was nervous, so I'll sort of like turn around, but not really like, go like, oh hey, but like just sort of turn around and look.
Well, if you turn around and look at her, she goes bright red and then vanishes. She just runs back into the lounge and away. Just like, and you can hear like scraping talons on metal as she runs, and like flapping of wings and things like that.
Nice to meet you.
She probably goes like, ah! And it makes like a slight squawk sound as she runs.
It was nice to meet you.
Wow.
Anyway. Oh, not you too, big cat.
Wow.
There you go. See, we're really ingrained now.
It's like Milo's in the room. Uncanny.
Part of the crew.
I suppose if we're stuck together for a long period of time, was it 14 light somethings or others? Astral time.
12 astral days.
Days.
Astral. Everything astral. That's
I don't know how
well,
long they are, but it sounds like 14 of them is a lot of sleeps. So maybe we should try and be nice and friendly to the big cat that could kill us at any moment.
Yes.
He's fine with the cat. He's just sleepy.
We haven't rested since Hadar.
True.
We have.
Could do with that.
Yes, we have. We had a walk, like a short rest, but not like a proper thing.
A sleep. You've not had a sleep.
Have we not slept since Hadar?
You've not had a long rest.
No.
Not since
and I guess by virtue of that, also since the Abbey, right?
Yeah.
Well, shall one of us inform?
No, you had a long rest.
What we're doing, and then we'll have a rest, so that she can make.
Okay, we can also ask about. We'll also ask about the Ishtar requirements as well.
Co-pilot Quill, you do it.
Oh, co-pilot. I need to learn how to be a co-pilot too.
That's what you, Nova. I think either of you two are more than capable.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, someone else being an engineer. Okay, Nova, engineer. Me,
both.
I guess co-pilot.
What?
Who wants to be a gunner?
I'm not gonna lie, that sounds pretty fun.
Okay, Ayla, gunner. Sentry, I guess co-engineer. Lucius, morale officer.
You can do it, and we won't get sucked out into space.
This is the worst.
That's the right
morale
idea.
we can have on a
Got it.
spaceship.
Not feeling it.
You can teach him Sentry. Okay, I'll go to Thalia then.
Okay. So Quill goes to Thalia. What's everyone else doing? Just so that it's not just a one-man show.
I'm lying down.
Someone else can come with me, like.
Yeah.
I will. I'll
Sentry, you
probably
want to go with Quill?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Ayla?
gonna go and find the gunner area and see if I can say hi to.
Sure. Okay. Nova?
Can I nerd out with Bim?
Yeah.
Just,
He
like-
seemed like he was down in the engines.
Nerd the
Shit,
heck
Sentry,
out.
the note taker's not coming with us.
Yeah.
Have you written anything
As much
down?
as I can. My screen
Sentry's-
cortex
yeah.
ready to go.
Sentry's not bad at making notes, even because you're not. Okay, we'll go round. Ayla?
Have you
For Ayla,
seen? Have you seen Rhiannon's notebook? It's just doodles and occasionally the word "fuck" written.
Still better than Tom's notes.
There's
It's
my
not as organised as Kim's.
Yeah.
I've got a lot
Look at
about
this thing.
organisation.
Right. Lucius,
Great. I need one of those.
Lucius lies down and goes to sleep. Ayla, there are two very clear access points. There are two turrets. Let's call them north and south. Which one do you want to go into? Which one do you try and check out first?
North.
Okay, north. You make your way north. And it's you basically, a short ladder leads up into a cylinder-like tube. And as you begin climbing up the stairs, you hear rustling of feathers and this. No! Can I help you?
Oh, hi. Sorry, I'm not. Nice to meet you. I got told that you might need another gunner. I was just wondering if you could show me. I could probably show myself, but I don't want to break a spaceship.
No. You shouldn't do that. The captain will get mad. And you see, she kind of has wings folded around herself, kind of hiding most of her body, and her claws are kind of tucked up under her chin. But you see a harpy, so feminine form, but big feathered wings, claws, and then big taloned feet like a bird's. But she's kind of wearing rugged half length shorts, long shorts, I guess. And she has a little tank top with a jacket with the back cut out for her wings. The tank top is actually got Shansara, an image of the Eladrin singer on it, and it's kind of half faded, and it's got stains on it and stuff like that. And when you kind of finish climbing up the ladder, you emerge into what can be best described as a nest. You can see that there are clearly these big crystal controls, but every other inch of this little domed turret is full of a mixture of things: blankets, clothes. There are stuffed toys. There are pictures that have been torn out of books that you can see, kind of picture books that have knights, that have princesses, that have dragons. There is a collection of weapons. You can see some sort of long-toothed blade, a flail. There appears to be a pistol, a Thunderstone pistol or an arcane pistol. And it's all just piled up and shoved in a corner. And it's a fucking mess everywhere. Everything's just kind of spread out. There's little figurines and statuettes that have been stuck to the console of the gun of the turret itself. And yeah, she's kind of sat, her legs brought up, these huge claws wrapped around the base of the chair. And she's kind of sat with her knees under her chin and her arms. And she's looking at you with these wide eyes. And she's got her hair's parted down into little pigtails. And she's just hi.
Hi.
I'll show you how it works. Hi.
Thanks. I'm not a big one for conversation either, so it's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
I like what you've done with the place, though. I like the weapon.
She just covers her face when you say that, the realization that you can see all of her stuff, and she just puts these giant claws over her face, and she's like, "I'm sorry, it's such a mess. It's so embarrassing. We should go to the other. We should go to the other turret. We could go to the other turret, and I'll show you that." And she's look. She won't look at you. She just does not look at you.
I like the weapons. They're nice. They're good.
Yeah, they're really cool.
And
Yeah,
I mean,
like
I don't actually have. You should see my room. It's kind of really, really gross. It's
Cool.
like it stinks. It's the worst. So
that kind of like
and,
she's like looks at you kind of like oddly like, why are you saying that?
and like I've never been on a ship before, and I don't really understand any of this. So I'm just trying to make you feel better that I'm not in any way a threat to you. Sorry.
Oh, it's not that. I'm not worried about that. It's more I just get really embarrassed. It's really embarrassing. And then she kind of like awkwardly turns away and she's like, okay, so this one, when you pull this one, it makes it go this way, and then when you pull this one, it makes it go this way, and then there's these little buttons on these, and then they make the cannons fire, and you can use, and she basically starts explaining how the turret works in a really terse and awkward as hell manner, where she won't look at you, and if you get too close to her, you see her like physically like, meh, and like flinch and tense up, but she explains how the turrets work. She still hasn't said her name.
I'm Ayla, by the way.
Hi, Ayla. I'm Kari.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks. Thank you for lesson. I look forward to hopefully not having to shoot things, but also kind of do want to shoot things because it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's pretty fun, but hopefully we don't have to. I sleep in here, by the way, so don't maybe don't come in here at night.
Okay. I won't come in here without permission.
Okay, yeah, that sounds great. Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Yeah. And then you make your way down. Sure. Nova, you make your way down into the engineering, and it's small. It's not big. It's not like on the Storm Chaser where you have this large area where the Ethereum engines and all these pipes and stuff and magic cables. This is quite condensed. Really, there's it's a small chamber that has a series of these crystalline panels that you've seen in other ships and things like that before that seem to give readouts on engine efficiency and power distribution. There clearly is some sort of system where you can see power running through the different parts of the ship. Most of that is channeled into the cockpit and then the two turrets, and then it goes back into 3 engines, which take which is what propels the ship itself. You see Bim going over several of these readouts, like kind of getting his big glasses, and he's kind of on his tiptoes. Actually, no, he can fly. He's got little wings, and he's flapping his little wings, and he's reading out several of the readouts. And then he checks his little pad, and he's like, "Oh, good, yes, everything's fine, excellent. Oh, hello there, Miss Ganassi. Just doing some routine checks.
Hi.
No problems. Hi.
Oh, my name's Nova Vija. Hi, pleasure to meet you, Bim. Well, I guess we kind of already met, but formally meet. Hi,
We've
Bim.
met.
Me,
Nice
Nova.
to meet you, Nova.
No,
Hello.
you're Bim. I'm Nova.
Yep.
I'm been told
bless.
to come and help you in engineering. Hi.
Well, I'm not much of an engineer, I'll be honest. Thalia's taught me how to do the various readouts and things, but Thalia's the one who knows the ship inside and out. But I can show you a few things if you're interested. Now, do you understand how magic works? This, and he gestures, generates magic that makes the ship fly. Do you understand that?
Yes. Can I?
You did call yourself Bim a second ago.
Yeah, true that. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. I understand that bit. Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, good. So these are crystals. And he starts going through it. Go on.
Yeah, and I'll just be like, you know, can I just like ask a question? I don't know what it would be like. Just ask a question out of nowhere. That's a really technical,
question. Of course,
but what is
the
the manifold output of the crystalline density of this? And just like a really just ask him that.
Yeah, you ask him like that sort of question, and he just looks at you, and he's like, I don't know. Wait, you actually understand this stuff? you know Magitech?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yes.
thought you were an idiot. I just thought that you come from a backwater idiot planet that didn't know anything. Oh,
That's
this
very
is surprising.
fair. No, that's very, very fair. I mean, I've always said that, I've always wanted to travel on spaceships and, get off the planet of Aerois. I mean, we have airships there, but none of them can break through the stratosphere. And this is a dream come true for me, by the way.
Ah, right. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, well, I guess the difference there is you don't have the necessary power output on your planet. Generally,
No.
well, there's only a few things that can really propel a ship like this, an astral ship, out into the full astral sea. First of all, you need the appropriate protections. Otherwise, some ships do this through a magical field, but the Twin Star is enclosed, obviously. But you need a certain amount of power output. The Twin Star uses a dual infernal engine. So it's two primordial infernals, which are bound into Magitech engines that then deliver the output. Very, very powerful. Ancient beings. The first astral ships were built thousands of years ago, long before even the Valkyrian Empire. We think that they might have originally been from the schematics, something called a Genesis relic, a really powerful device of the very first beings that came through the Genesis well.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. The engines themselves aren't relics. But we think that the schematics to build the first one.
If there was ever a power outage or one of the primordials just gave out, do you think you could ever replace it temporarily with an elemental that you could summon yourself?
No, they're not. It's not the same thing. An elemental that you can conjure yourself, say through magic, they're lesser beings of the elemental planes, elemental planets. You can summon them, but they're pretty simple, right? They're kind of sentient, but they're not real living beings. The infernal primordials are ancient. They're like, I don't know, it'd be like the difference between, how you could summon an elemental of air, right? You know magic enough that you can summon air elementals. Well,
I can do that.
This is more like the creatures bound into these engines. It would be like the storm itself. It's like binding the very essence of something. These happen to be two essences of infernal planets, effectively, like the things that create hellfire and brimstone, the kind of things that even the archdevils and the demon lords are kind of somewhat sworn to not necessarily obey, but they draw their power from. And the two from the Twin Star are from a long dead world now, but that's basically how it works. So yeah, those kind of elementals aren't powerful enough, but maybe if you found a really powerful magical being, something old and made of magic itself, that could power a ship.
Interesting.
Anyway, let me show you how the rest of the engine works, and then Bim goes on here's how the engine.
Yeah, and then can we just nerd the fuck out for the next however long?
This is the thing, Nova. This is probably the first time you have met somebody who is as fascinated about planes and technology and Magitech as you are. And it's weird because he's a little devil. He's like a little devil, but with these glasses, and he shows no other traits of other devils you've seen. He just loves learning about this stuff, and he is fascinated by it. And he probably asks you tons of stuff about Aerois as well. It's like a genuine little, we're science bros. You're the little science bros,
out. Exactly. I think we would talk and just talk and talk and talk and talk until someone actually comes and gets us. And
that will probably happen. I believe that we need to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll have Quill and Sentry chat to the captain.
Yeah, figure out how to be a co-pilot.
Sound good? Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to roleplay that. I'm going to give you some statistical information if anything happens, but it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
So,
That's cool.
Cool.
We'll come back, talk to Thalia, and then jump into the Styx.
Cool.
Into the Styx.
Yeah, Styx. Cool. All right. Will you guys go grab drinks, take a toilet break if you need one? Tommy Boy, do you want to read some donos, or do you want to start, or how do you want to do it?
I can
start. I've got a couple on Yogs, so I'll do it when I get back.
Do you want to do... Yeah, you're doing when you get back. Okay, cool. All right, go for it, Tommy.
I'll do my ones. Hey, Safi1519, thank you very much for your donations. Hi, High Rollers. Glad to be catching you all live again. I hope everyone is doing well and staying safe. We just started a PvP campaign. PvP.
Play by post, I think is the old school term. Play by post. So sometimes it's like if you play on Discord or forums and stuff as well.
Okay. Where the players don't know anything about their characters. Only I have their sheets until they learn their abilities. That's
okay.
Really cool.
Interesting.
I like that.
He loves that.
Stay safe. Thank you very much. I love it. Yeah, because I mean, oh god, just slowly unlocking your abilities, or maybe even like doing stuff, and then the DM just says like, oh well, if you do this, you get +2 this. And you're like, oh cool, I'll keep doing that then. I just like the concept of it. It's just cool.
Yeah.
Drunk Redneck 37 with a $250. Thank you very much. Howdy y'all. Tom, do you think it's about time for Quill to use sending to tell the crew of your airship y'all are fine? Way ahead of you, buddy. Way ahead of you.
Way ahead of you,
I was
buddy.
waiting for a moment when we weren't, back-to-back combat
In
or
danger.
back-to-back meeting new friends. We're in danger. We're safe now, safe-ish. Lobin of Roxley with a $250 as well. Thank you very much. The only bad thing about being caught up with Aerois is having to wait a whole week between episodes. In the meantime, I've been watching Strahd, the old Lightfall campaign, and a bit of Critical Role in between. Definitely a forever fan of High Rollers.
Mix.
Thank you.
Thank you very
much. There's tons of amazing campaigns out there to check out as well. Killamondo73. First time donating, but I can't stick around because I'm still catching up. However, I'm so excited about Nova in Idle Champions. We are as well. We are so happy that our characters are in a game. It's so cool. And they work together as well. Yeah, download it, try it out, get Nova. It's very, very cool. Frank the NPC, episode prediction. The Sloths act in Spaceballs 2. Lucius believes an imp is a reincarnation of Daddy. Quill starts a love affair with a cat. Nova takes a spacewalk. That almost happened. Ayla and Sentry question life choices. Finally, Mark, the She-Ra end was damn amazing. The She-Ra ending was damn amazing.
It was fucking great. And, it's really nice to see a show out there nailing some good representation for folks as well. That show is incredibly gay, and it's great. Yeah, it's fucking great. It's a good show. It's fun. Cheesy, but it's fun.
Anxiety statement with a $250. Hey guys, it was my 19th birthday yesterday. Well, very happy birthday to you. So I thought I'd share a little bit to the people that have been making me smile for over a year now. Well, thank you very much, and happy birthday, anxiety statement. League Crimson Reaper, small token today. Thanks for all the happiness you guys give me. My long sleeve and goodie, maybe hoodie, arrived, and I love them. Also, Mark, how could I get you to play one of the mini games I've been making as part of my summer break from my games design degree?
I wish I would love to be able to do that. I get a lot of people saying, can you check out this thing that I've made? I just wish I did. Any free time I have, I'm normally either doing my own writing, homebrewing stuff, or taking a very well-deserved, I just want to play a video game or do nothing for a moment. I wish I could do more of that stuff. Loads of people ask me to do it. I just don't have the time. I'm so sorry. But, share it with the community. Go on go on the High Rollers Discord. Share it there. Post it on the Reddit, on Twitter. Post
Discord,
it on those
the
places,
Reddit, Twitter.
I'm sure somebody will.
There'll be loads of people that'll be willing to try it out and give you feedback as well. Scrappy Coco 29. Hey y'all, it didn't say y'all on the second one. Hey y'all, you are all awesome. Thank you for giving us laughs and tears for the last few years. Well, sorry about the tears. I hope you all have a great session today and remain able to bring us this for several more years. I hope to meet everyone someday and thank you in person. Well, love to meet you too, and hopefully, oh my god, yeah, I want to do this for the rest of my life and then beyond. I want to do this from beyond the grave.
Cool.
Is that possible?
Weird, but okay.
No.
Right, do you want to go grab?
Weird flex,
go grab
sure.
a drink, Tommy? Weird flex.
Yes,
sure.
and I will. I'll carry on at the end of the episode.
At the end. Sure, sounds good.
Yes.
Right, Trotty.
It's a couple here. Well, Ola Rembe, thank you very much for donating. Much appreciated. And Raging Rhino 10101 said spice. So that's that. Thank you, everybody.
Cool.
Spice. Yeah, no spice here.
Thank
He
you for
has the
taking the
spice.
time to donate on High Rollers D&D. It's clear that there is a
And
bias
Yogscast.
towards that. And Yogscast.
Yeah, there is, but don't forget you can
appreciate-
sub on both. Support
Can
everybody.
sub on both.
Sub on both. Donate on both.
Everything's best
Grab some
for you.
merch. Do all of that while we
Buy
wait
our
till we
t-shirt.
get back. Buy our
and
t-shirt. Thank you.
Check out our sponsors, D&D Beyond,
Yes.
if you want to create some characters, and NordVPN if you don't want to get hacked by GTA 5 hackers and get
Do both.
DDoSed.
I love that you're still
Speaking
not
of
over that.
watching content that is geo-locked, I know Rhiannon will be a fan of this one, but I know on a US streaming site, they've just uploaded a ton of Cardcaptor Sakura or Cardcaptors, which is the good shit. I knew Rhi would be with me on this. I'm like, Rhi's got my back.
Yes. Card captors of the
Absolutely.
cloud. Expect the unexpected now.
Expected now. Cloud cards, baby. So good.
Card captors.
Everyone else is just like,
So good.
whatever. Man, that wasn't it. It was a good theme, right? The dub was a bit garbage.
hell
but
yeah.
The theme was mwah.
Oh, it's such
Mystic
a good theme.
adventure.
Card
Yeah, so good.
captures.
I don't.
Quest
I don't-
for all time.
See, look,
So
don't
good.
you be coming in here with the hate, right? We don't need it. We
I
don't
just
want it.
don't.
You don't get the anime.
Anime,
We
man.
get it. We get it. Me and Rhi, we represent.
One.
We're the weeb heart
We're the
of High
weeb
Rollers. We're the weeb ones.
I'm the mainstream guy that's
Yeah,
pretending.
you're Cowboy Bebop. You're like,
Yeah.
I love Cowboy Bebop. We're on a
and
show. I love
Ghost
it.
in the Shell. And Akira.
That
Both are good though. Like
and
both are very good.
Yeah.
Both are very good.
both
I like
are
One
like
Punch. One
if
Punch.
it gets too anime,
Just
that's
sick.
too much.
So mainstreamy. So mainstream.
Don't care. He kills
Not old,
people with
not
one
like
punch.
old Marky Humes over here with
not
his
to like-
fucking weird shit.
You do
Right,
you,
Tommy's back.
baby.
I do me. I've been
Yeah.
doing me for 34 years. I have no intention on stopping of doing me.
We all know it.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, what you guys
I
talking
am
about?
down
Your
of
spare
my-
time is up to you, Mark. We don't need to
Tom-
know that.
We've
Tom, tell Mark your favorite cartoon on Netflix, and you know the one.
Oh,
with
you're
the
talking about
prince.
Dragon Prince?
fuck off. Fuck
Oh, I
off.
love that
I'm
show.
Not doing this. Not doing this
Oh
again.
god,
Right.
it's so good though.
Stop.
Hey, no,
You need to
you-
stop now.
Avatar is on US Netflix. If you haven't watched it yet, do it. Oh
yeah.
my
no,
god,
that's-
Avatar
now
is
that's a
amazing.
good call. That's a good
It's on
call.
UK
Right.
Netflix, but it's on US Netflix now. Let's go.
Right.
friendship adventure.
Back into it. So, we had the
What?
crew. Everyone's kind of doing their own little stuff, but Sentry and Quill make their way back to the cockpit. You see Thalia, the little snakes, hiss once more. She turns around and she's like, oh, that's actually somewhat surprising. I was expecting my little Ganassi friend to have been the first to come up and see me. But I'm not entirely. I'm not that your company is unwelcome. I'm just surprised, that's all.
She's out.
I'm suddenly there, pressing my face against the cockpit, like, "Hello, someone
No,
talk to
you and
me."
Bim, you've got your new imp
Yeah.
friend.
We're nerding. We're nerding.
Yeah, she's in the engine room.
well,
so
Captain,
she's doing
we-
a great job learning.
Yes, she's
Yes,
learning
I'm
a lot.
sure.
I'm
She seemed very excitable about certain things.
She
but,
can talk until she
more
goes
rational
purple.
ones. Yes, I'd rather avoid that, honestly. So, what can I do for the two of you? I don't know if I've fully learnt your names yet.
Well, I'm Sentry. Or Sentinel Prime.
Sentry.
Whichever you prefer.
Well, Sentry sounds much sweeter, doesn't it?
And we'll go with that.
Oh, and
Sentinel Prime is quite official.
I'm Quill, but if you need to know the full name, then Keelakad Kalar. But Quill's good.
I don't need to know the full name, Quill, so Quill will suffice. Excellent. Well, did you find your accommodations? I know they are small, but it's the best that the Twin Star can offer.
Oh, they were very
Oh, well,
nice,
they're
and
great.
thank you for the 5th bed as well.
Of
I'm
course.
sure we'll try it out.
Oh, yes.
the first time.
As you need to. Certainly. Anyway, so, how can I help either of you? You and I, Quillick, must go over some of the basics of your role, but I'm assuming that you have a decision for me?
Yes. We think we would like to go to this Argent Palace to assist you in this demon's bargain trial thing. We are wary of the danger, though.
Yes, I can't promise that it will not be dangerous. Obviously, going up against a figure like Gratz is... it's no small feat, I will promise you that. He has his minions and his guards, but the Argent Palace is also home to many visitors from across the different realms. Grast is, if nothing, he cares greatly for his reputation and his indulgences. Something of a pleasure fiend, shall we call him. That is his sin, his sphere of influence. So I think that it's workable with, and if nothing else, well, if nothing else, if we can find how he grants these wishes, then we can steal it and make a very, very quick getaway to your planet, which is protected by planar attack. Yes?
Yes. In the interest of transparency, you should probably be aware that I have a power that should be useful in this demon's trial, though I don't know how traceable it is. I don't know if the demon will know if I'm using it. But with my eye, I can see, well, whatever I ask a question of. So when we're there, whatever the trial is, if he rigs it, then there's potential for us to do the same in return.
That is most exceptional. And she kind of leans in. She puts like one hand under her chin. What a remarkable power. Yes, that would be very, very useful indeed. And no doubt, Sentry, you seem to be most a capable warrior, as does your elf friend. Having some folks of your skills will be appreciated. Yes, this seems like it would be a most fortuitous venture for both of us. One wish for me, the other two are yours to do with as you wish. I only need the one.
Okay.
And of course, if we manage to gather up any other treasures along the way, there's no harm in a little bit of that either.
Absolutely. We're happy to, give whatever you require, as long as the journey is made, well, safely enough.
I will do everything I can. Yes, of course. We'll do everything we can. Obviously, things like attackers, if we are just unlucky, there's only so much I can do. But yes, you have my absolute... I will do my best to look after you. I trust that you will do the same for me. How about that?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, we will do our very
sounds
best.
A fair deal.
Help.
Thank you. Thank you, my dear. That's very kind of you. So, with that in mind, I will plot a course for Azagrat to stop by. Hopefully we can accomplish what we need in a couple of astral days. And then we can be on our way back to your home.
Okay.
Is there anything else?
Okay.
Sounds good.
Is there anything else you needed to know, or anything you would like to know about anything?
The co-pilot role, is that a two-hand job, or...
No, I think I can teach it despite your loss of appendage. It shouldn't be too difficult. It's mainly a support role, and then activating certain systems upon the ship, which are difficult for me to do whilst I am piloting. It's quite simple in a sense. And she gestures, come, and she pats the little chair next to her. Come and sit next to me, and I'll go over it with you. Perhaps it would be advisable for Miss Sentry to have a listen in and learn as well. And she just gestures. The main function of the co-pilot is to act as a guide to other stations upon the Twin Star. You will be able to provide assistance to myself, to the gunners, to the engineer, providing, depending on the situation, being able to spot a danger would be able to assist me in piloting, or perhaps the gunners to aim. The engineer, if you have any knowledge of magic, could be useful for giving guidance to the engineering team as well. But there are 2 specific systems that you'll be in charge of as well. Mainly our shields, our arcane shields. You'll have the ability to activate and deactivate these from the station. Just keep in mind that whilst our shields are active, we are not able to boost the engines, charge weapons, or deploy any anti-magic chaff. So it's something of a double-edged sword. It protects us, but disables other systems.
Okay.
And then the last one is simply to deploy, as I mentioned. I have a system built into my ship. It was a custom-made one. I have the ability to deploy microfields of anti-magic. Now, against these wouldn't be useful against anything other than magical ship attacks, but it can be deployed to effectively negate a powerful attack against us. But it does take time to recharge.
Okay. So would this be basically you shout at me and I activate it, or is it something I would be
You will need to be actively making the decision to do. My attention will be focused. If we get into a space battle, into an astral battle, I'm afraid that my attention will be focused on defensive flying, maneuvering us into position, avoiding laser blasts, arcane blasts. My attention will be focused. You will be responsible for these systems, Master Quill. But it is quite simple to activate, and she'll basically, in a montage, she will show you the different systems, how to read, the outputs and things like that. And it's quite simple. Like, even with one hand, you can read the arcane runes. You are a wizard and a cleric of the Arcana domain. Like, it is magic you can understand. Sentry, maybe the runes don't mean a lot to you, but you can see what Quill's doing, and you think maybe I could copy this if I had to. But yeah, the ship systems make a lot of sense. And for everybody, there's going to be like a cheat sheet on the actual actions themselves, so don't worry too much about writing everything down.
Can I, at some point, the most inopportune time, messengering?
Yep.
And the voice is kind of muffled because my face will be half buried in a pillow. So
yes.
Don't forget to tell her about our side mission. Oh, yeah. I'm sleeping now.
I'm getting to it.
I'm perfectly fine with you making meta reminders of, please ask this NPC about this thing we need to know about, so to cut down on Mark's time. I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, learned co-pilot thing, agreed to the job. Okay, so there is one thing we require. Messengering back. Thanks,
What's
Lucius.
that?
Okay.
She's your little sippy cup.
Do I want to mention the Wings of Ishtar? Sentry, do you want to go over it?
I can go over it. So we require we require a couple of items, but to get them we need to look for, I suppose, Starbane ships. Is there a way we can as a kind of like I guess like scavenging like space junk kind of stuff, but is there a way we can look for maybe old Starbane ships out here?
Well, what are you looking for, Miss Sentry? Because that does change things. I should point out that the Valkyrian Empire, whilst I have no love for it, one cannot help but admire their tenacity and their organization skills. Things like their wrecks, they don't tend to leave them for very long. Wrecks of, let's say pirates manage to take down a Valkyrian warship. Well, the pirates will have merely hours, perhaps, before another warship is sent to rescue them or recover it. So there doesn't tend to be a lot of salvage in that regard. The Empire protects its technology very, very carefully. But that doesn't mean that there are not ways that such things cannot be acquired. What are you looking for?
Okay, so we've got a couple of things. One of them was, there were signets, Oh, like badges? Somebody wants
Signets.
badges. They've asked us to get signets.
Signets, yes, I'm familiar with the term. I've had my encounters with the Valkyrian Empire before. Their technology sells quite profitably in the black market. Their signets are special devices, normally bracelets, emblems, badges, rings, that sort of thing. They're coded to specific individuals, and it allows them to access parts of the Valkyrian Empire, weapons, ships, their war suits, things like that. Without those signets, that technology doesn't work for other people. It's one of their security protocols. They're generally manufactured in their foundries. The Valkyrian foundries, there are some. They exist on certain planets in particular, most of which are heavily controlled by the Valkyrian Empire. But there's a few that I can think of that could be potentials. I know that. Well, I know that Gehenna and Avernus, both infernal planes, they have foundries. Now, the devils that inhabit these places, they work with the Valkyrian Empire because of contracts and deals. But they aren't exactly loyal to Callus, which means that sometimes smugglers can make their way inside to recover unbound weapons, unused signets, perhaps. But the devils themselves are dangerous to do business with, as you will find out for our little endeavor with Graz'zt. So that can be dangerous. Their planets are very hostile, generally. Other options, Archeron has a foundry on it. It's home to the Orcs of Archon. Very tough, very warlike, honorable sorts. But again, they are members of the Empire and fiercely loyal to Callus, but that doesn't mean that we cannot get access to their foundry. This would likely be more difficult to enter through subterfuge, but there may be ways around it. There is also Mechanus. Mechanus is currently home to the Modrons and the Primus. Construct beings, I suppose, like yourself, I imagine. Mechanus is a planet of lore. The Primus and the Modrons are, well, you just can't simply... They don't understand the concept of lying. They don't understand the concept of... everything is a bureaucracy. If you do not have the correct forms, nothing will happen. If you do not present them with official oversights, they will not give you what you provide. But Modrons are not the cleverest creatures in the multiverse, and things like that can be forged by the right people. And then lastly, which I think would be our best option for something like this, is a place called Brass City. It is... The planet is more of a gas giant more than anything, but it has magical cities that float in it. Magic zones where people live. It is home to the Ifriti, the fire genies. They are incredible at creating magical relics and scrolls, potions, artifacts, technology. They have a foundry there, and they are not loyal to Callus. They despise him. They work with him because they must. Ooh. But they do not like serving another being that is not themselves. So that could very much be an option.
Interesting. Loads of options.
Yes. That is for the signets, anyway. Did you mention that there was something else that you were looking for?
I think there was. Quill, do you know?
Oh, yes. We...
Oh my god, none of you know what we're looking for!
Need to
Check
get
your
a detailed map of the Tassadar.
Tassadar? Callus's warship? Well, you certainly have ambitions, don't you both? Ha. Acquiring the schematics of something like that. Places like Valkyrian Archives they're so closely guarded. I don't even know where to begin looking for a facility like that. But I know somebody who could acquire these schematics. They are a criminal, a particularly dangerous and nefarious criminal that I have had dealings with in the past.
Of course.
Yes, you. The person that could achieve this is a being known as Zax Ravus, the Dark Sage. He is an Ultraloth. They are a type of fiend similar to devils and demons, but different. They are much more mercenary and out for their own interests. Zax Ravus runs one of the largest criminal organizations in the multiverse. If anybody can get you these schematics, it's them.
Do you know
have
where
worked with them
they
in
are?
the past. Yes, I will. I'll need to do some investigating through the system to find out where he currently is. But I could find him if I need to. You can see that she's like, I don't want to, but I could.
So it's either, from the sounds of it, fire genies who are able to potentially create these signets, or
Well,
criminal
I imagine
organization.
that. Yes. Well, I imagine that with the Ifriti, they would not necessarily be responsible for making the signets themselves, but if you got one of the noble genies, one of the noble Ifrit of the city, if you tell them that what you are doing is to countermand Callus, I imagine that they would be willing to perhaps open certain doors for you to steal some. You would have to deal with any Valkyrian guards on the premise. I am simply perhaps inferring what I would do. How about that?
Okay. Do you know if, in obtaining the signets, they would also bypass any countermeasures the ship may have?
I don't know the exact details. When I've used signets before in the past, generally they allow you to access doors. They will allow you to pass through doors without having to pick the lock, without having to disable a security system. Things like surveillance would still recognize you as not being a member of the crew, purely on a visual basis. So you would need some sort of spell to disguise yourself, perhaps. But they would allow you to access doors, use any equipment that you find, disable security systems if you can recover the correct codes, that sort of thing. They will allow you to interact with the ship as if you were a member of its crew.
Okay, and with this was it Zax Ravos?
Zax Ravus, yes. Zax, just call him Zax. He doesn't like it, but I don't really care.
Okay, would he be able to also procure maybe some Valkyrian uniforms?
It's likely, yes. I imagine so, yes. He could probably do something like that, yes.
Okay. Messenger ring. Hey, what else?
Sleeping.
We had
I
two
think
options.
that's everything, isn't it?
We had two options. It's either the signets and the uniforms, or the schematic. Which one sounds
because
best?
because it was the Wings of Ishtar said they would be able to do one of the two, wouldn't they?
Yes.
And it makes sense.
Yes.
Honestly, it makes sense that they would go for the genies on Brass City, because people who hate Valkyrian, literal resistance group, they get along very well, rather than random crew asking for signets. Meanwhile,
Let's make it
Thalia,
That's
she knows. Okay, I know you don't want to, this Zax Ravos, but it seems like you have an in.
Yes, I have. Please don't use the word in. Yes, I have a connection to Zax Ravus. Yes, I will work with him. This may even kill two birds with one stone. There's some unfinished business I have with Zax, and if we can use him he owes me, is what I mean. He owes me a few things, and this may just deal with something that I've had on the back burner for a while.
Oh, okay, as long as you are willing, that is.
Yes.
Then I think if you can,
You've already
contact him,
You've
then
agreed to
please
help.
do.
I will. You've agreed to help me with something very personal to me, so yes, I will.
Okay.
Not for your own. You get your own out of it, but I'm glad. Well, this seems very how businesslike, how wonderful. I'm glad that we have this partnership.
I know our first impressions. Our first impressions are normally quite haphazard and nervous and scared and terrified, but first time in astral space, we're astral scared of astral everything right now. So we'll go get some astral sleep, and we'll astral see you in the astral tomorrow? Are there astral tomorrows in astral space?
You can think of it that way, yes. You're quite sweet. Yes, go get some rest. And yes, astral space is a scary place. You're wise to be cautious. Just don't let that caution make you hesitate. Hesitating out here will get you killed, little bird.
Okay. All right.
Just say we're astral weak, and when we sleep, you can astral and steal anything you want from us as well while you're at it.
Yeah,
just astral kill us now.
Right.
Oh boy.
Cool. In that case,
so unless you guys want to talk to each other, yeah.
Yeah, I'll also have. I guess I'll use sending to Wings of Ishtar. I can't remember his name. Zelion.
Yep. Zelion.
And let him know his end of the thing in 25 words. I'll tell him the mission he needs to do. Yeah.
Yeah, you're basically going to say we'll take care of the plans. You take care of the signets. We'll get the schematics. You get the signets.
Sure.
And yeah, he responds. He responds in his deep, bassy, angelic voice. I am pleased that you have found a solution. We will do our best to acquire what is necessary. I wish you the best of luck, and until we meet again, in a deep, angelic, awesome voice.
Okay. I rolled 87 on both of those sendings. That's pretty
wow.
cool.
Nice. Cool. All right. Well, unless you guys want to chat to each other, which you can still do while you take a long rest. How about that? You guys can take a long rest.
Oh, long rest. For the first time ever.
I was on 11 HP.
Perfect.
Nice.
I had so few spells left. Spell slots left.
Spell slot.
You know you can get HP back with short rests, or did you not have any hit dice left, Lucius?
He got smacked up when we got chased off.
It was the battle.
Oh, that's true.
It was the only one that you could hit just again and again and again.
Yeah, that's true. I love characters with low AC.
And stuff like that. I was weak.
Nice. Good play. Well, yeah, you take a long rest. It passes uneventfully. Anybody who kind of comes out the room, because there's no way to track the time, you notice that the other members of the crew seem to have an awareness of roughly when they should be sleeping. And at some point, Thalia emerges from the cockpit and goes to her quarters, and you see Bim make his way into the cockpit. And it seems that you don't get the impression that Bim ever sleeps. He doesn't seem to need to sleep or to eat. He just kind of exists and just does whatever he wants to do. Whereas the rest of them, eat. You probably have at some point, Thalia has food with you all. A very nervous Kyrie comes down, grabs a bunch of food, goes bright red when she sees all of you looking at her, and then runs back up to her turret and doesn't speak to anybody. Big Cat comes under the table and will eat anything that hits the floor. Anything that does not land on your plate, Big Cat has. And he normally gets his big paws up and he's looking at food on the table wow. Thalia kind of throws some some astral steak onto the astral floor, where the astral cat eats it. But yeah, nice. it's time passes until after some time, Thalia calls you to the cockpit. I believe that several of you may want to see this. Out of your curiosity. And she calls you all to the cockpit. And you can see she gestures Quill to sit in the co-pilot seat. Bim is kind of on his tiptoes in between the two of you. And you can see he's got his little crystal pad up and he's looking up and he's yes, here. just here, Thalia. And he taps the kind of like big kind of see-through screen, and you see that in the kind of flowing purple, grey, misty hue of the astral sea, you can see almost like a thin crack with a slight amount of green energy coming out of it. Very hard to see until it's pointed out to you. Quill, you probably notice it. And Thalia's just like, yes, excellent work, Bim. That's the breach point. Once we'll travel through that, and then we'll enter Styx space. I thought that you might want to see what that looks like. And then she puts her hands on the controls.
To see that at all.
Well, it's better that you get used to it now. It's a little off-putting. And the ship kind of rolls, although you don't feel it inside, and it banks, and then it lurches forward. And as it touches this crack in the astral sea, you feel the ship is kind of almost sucked in, and you emerge into a corridor of a kind of a cylinder where the inside of it looks very much like the astral sea did, this kind of like flowing purple grey mist. The outside of the cylinder is like you're trapped inside a hollow cylinder, which is a swirling vortex of green, black, and crimson, woven together in strips of pulsating color that surges and flows like streams. At first, you don't notice them. It just seems like this kind of swirling mass of color all around you. But occasionally, when you're looking into the green vortex around you, you can see the shape of humanoid figures, bestial creatures, or ominous shadows. Amid the vortex, they look at you with these empty, haunting eyes as their bodies stretch and elongate as they're pulled along the eddies and the currents of the vortex. We call them astral souls. Nobody really knows what they are. The energy of the Styx it scrambles a creature's mind if you're exposed to it. It warps them into fiendish creatures. The legends say that they're the souls of creatures who die in the astral sea and can't find their way home. And it's only because of them that the Styx space actually works. They're harmless, but a little off-putting. She kind of grins. She looks around at everyone. Like, I'm showing you a spooky thing.
This is a dream. This isn't real. I don't like it.
Oh no, it's quite real. You really must learn not to panic so much, Mr. Elf. It's very harmful for you.
I think you're doing this on purpose.
Doing what on purpose? This, and then she makes the ship rotate and roll, and this time you do feel it. Like, you're all kind of like, whoa! And then she kind of like brings it back into a steady kind of drift.
Super high-pitched yelp, and then just dash to the crew quarters.
Yeah. I think.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Nova's having the time of her life.
Your friend
Nova's
really should learn how to deal with it. And what's Nova doing? Like looking, like trying to like on the back of the chairs, like looking at the front.
Getting as close to the not the window pane, the.
It's like a
viewport.
screen, like a view screen. A viewport.
I'm just getting as close to the screen as possible and just like, whoa!
Thalia will put a hand on your on your scarf and like, no, don't get too close to that. Come on, if we have a break, don't get too close to that. Just sit here. And she kind of like she pulls you into her lap, and she's like, if you want to look at it, you can look at it from here. And then she's like, poof, and sits you on her lap. And then she's kind of like leaning around you with the hands on the controls.
Bright purple. But still, like, she doesn't know what to do. Like, there's a space, and then there's the souls, and then there's a cool thing,
But
and
here's
then
a question.
sitting on a pretty lady's lap.
Is Nova saying that, or is Nova quiet?
I think for once, Nova has gone quiet because there's just so much running through her head right now. She's short-circuited.
And you see Thalia looks back, she looks at like Sentry, Quill, and Ayla and just kind of winks and is like mouths like, at least now she's quiet. And then she goes back to the plane.
This exact posture. Don't move. Don't move.
Leant back that far?
Just like, she doesn't know what to do!
You feel like a little snake kind of like tickling your neck because you're leaning so back into Thalia that the snake is like...
Oh god.
Little danger noodle.
Nope rope.
Oh, this is
Nope.
great. I love it.
Right. Do you guys want to talk about anything else, or do you want to just jump ahead in some time?
Sure.
Is there anything you need to discuss?
No.
I don't think so.
I'm gonna try and
This is
befriend Big Cat. I want Big Cat to be my friend.
Yeah, Big Cat likes you, like 100%. Like Big Cat sees the big strong elf, and is just like, yeah, you're cool. And he's not like, he won't let you pet him, but he'll follow you around and like kind of just like, you don't hear him purring, but you hear these occasionally like chattery noises, like that chatter noise that cats do, like the like that kind of noise. And he'll follow you around. He'll like sniff at you, and yeah, he just kind of looks at you expectantly.
I like Big Cat. Big Cat's cool.
Yeah,
He doesn't take crap
Big
from
Cat
anyone.
like
Big Cat.
if you like sit on the floor, or like if you sit in the lounge, Big Cat will come and sit by your feet and just kind of like sit there and clean himself while you're just like sat next to him. But yeah, there's like it's weird. He takes to you almost too quickly and too well. There's a very unnatural kind of bonding that goes on.
Fine.
Maybe
It's a flirkin.
Maybe.
No.
It's a flirkin.
Oh,
We got a mount.
can I ask?
technically, I think
Yeah.
you could. Yeah, he is large. You could. Well, he's medium, but he's on the big side of medium, so maybe. Right, Quill.
I'll work on
can you
the
ask?
letting me pet him thing. But
Yeah. So
not
yeah, you can start
push
working
it.
on that. Yeah, it's like
Work on it.
you get like the point where like you can touch him and he doesn't growl. That's like in the first couple of like hours and stuff, like you're like touch, and he looks at you like, and then you have to take your hand back. And he nods, puts his head down. As an element.
Could I ask Thalia about Palador?
Sure. What'd you ask?
So, Thalia, when we do get to what is hopefully Aerois, it will most likely be protected by a ship.
Yes,
Palador.
the sun ship. We've heard the legends. Everyone has. Aerois is something of it's a bit of a myth, really. It's a bit of a legend, the kind of place that smugglers and pirates always talk about. The hidden planet that Callus doesn't want anyone to know about. It does somewhat arc the eyebrow, if you understand my meaning. And the sun ship protects it.
Yes, well, that's the thing. Me and, well, at least when we've seen him before, he has shown a recognition for both me and Ayla. I'm hoping that when we get there, we will be able to communicate with him to at least, well, let him know that the Twin Star is not something to be,
do you
protected.
have a way of communicating him? It is difficult to see into the cockpit, I'm afraid. We can see out, but it is difficult to see in. So you will need some sort of way to perhaps communicate.
I guess I've seen him before, right? So I can sending him. So I suppose I don't know.
can
Can I
try.
sending a Titan?
You can try.
I mean, he exists, right? He is a thing. So I guess I could try
So
sending like when we get
I'm
closer,
looking at the
but-
wording of it now, and it says you may send a short message to a creature with which you are familiar. So you can certainly try.
I have seen him
Sup,
before.
let
and
us
he-
on the planet, bro.
And I do know him. Like, I know of him. So I could do a sending, but then also in that it's like, hey, we're on a ship. It's called the Twin Star. It looks like this. It's got red on the wings, and it's got like a big cockpit in the middle.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm not going to say anything because this is up to you.
Okay. Well, Thalia, what I was mainly wondering is I could potentially message him and give a
Yes.
forewarning that we're coming. I was just wondering if you had any ideas with the ship itself, how we could identify ourselves to another, probably more primitive ship, but ship nonetheless.
Oh, primitive, certainly not. No, the sunship, absolutely not. The legends that they tell of the sunship, it must be ancient. It must be one of the legendary Genesis relics. It must be. The power of this ship. The stories that we hear, Callus doesn't speak of Aerois. His churches do not speak of it. They speak only of his conquests. But of course, people speak. Stories are passed down. A soldier that served in Callus's army back when he assaulted Aerois, but perhaps changed his viewpoint, tells his friends, he writes it down. That becomes a blacklisted item that the Empire tries to recover, and a smuggler buys it, or a pirate, or a criminal. It gets degraded over time, but we manage to get fragments of it, and then another story from another source comes about. From my understanding, the Sun Ship was the only defense against all of Callus's battleships and warships that he could manifest. It rained such power upon his fleet that Callus could not bring it all to bear.
He was powerful enough to defend against even the Tassadar itself?
Legions. Oh, yes, of course. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Okay. Legions. But of course, these are just stories. These are the stories, ghost stories that we tell amongst the crews. But if that ship turns its attention on us, if it is as the stories say, well, I certainly hope that he does know it's you and your friend. Otherwise, this will be well, I suppose it will be quick. And she smiles.
Yes. I mean, there must be some truth to it. The ship is out there still. If Starbane was assaulting Aerois as much as he was, then the starship would be the first to go, being outside the cradle. But, I mean, that's another thing. Getting through the cradle,
Your world is a mystery to me, Master Quillick, I'm afraid. You know more than I. I can simply deliver you to the planet. After that, I'm afraid it is up to you and your friends.
Okay, well, I appreciate the story. I'll do what I can, at least, to make sure the ship doesn't tear us to pieces instantly.
Good to know. Good to know.
Okay. That's all.
Alright. Okay. Yeah, unless there's anything else, we'll skip ahead some time. Probably about an astral day or so. So if there's anything, say now. Speak now, forever hold your peace. Yes.
I'm good.
The journey so far goes without incident. On the first day after you enter the Styx, stuff does happen though. Thalia calls out, it's not in alarm, but she calls out, some of you are in the lounge, some of you perhaps are resting in your own quarters. Nova, you might be up, or Quill might be up in the co-pilot seat. But Thalia, her voice is projected throughout the ship. She's just like, we do have, the ride may get a little bumpy in a moment. We're entering into a debris field in the Styx. I'm going to have to switch to fully manual piloting here, and I may need to turn off the gravity dampeners. So be aware this may get a little bumpy.
Oh no.
Okay.
And my question is, where is everybody on the ship?
Can I
Go
go
to the
to
co-pilot
the
seat?
gunners? I'll go to the south gunner thing.
Why would you guys, look, it's like you think something's about to happen. So Quilla's in the co-pilot seat, so you rush up to join Thalia in the cockpit.
You could use the help.
That's where, yep. Ayla is in the gunner turret, the one that Kyrie is not in. Lucius?
Crew quarters, gripping the bed.
Just like under the blankets, like, Ugh! Okay. Nova?
Hanging out with Bim, wherever Bim will be.
For now, he's probably up in the cockpit, because there's 4 seats. So he's probably sat up there. He's probably kind of keeping an eye on the debris field with Thalia.
Okay.
So you can be up there as well. So you, Quill, and Bim, and then Thalia in the cockpit. Sentry, where's you at?
I think I'd be in the mess, like tidying in the kitchen, pottering around, doing all that kind of stuff.
Just like normal mum stuff, like while the ship's like, we're about to enter a debris field, and Sentry's like, oh, I better make sure the plates are packed away, like, do.
Can't have warm plates without some plates.
Sentinel Prime with a little pinny on, just like
living
clearing everything
god.
away. Like, I love it. Perfect. So Quill and Nova, you guys are the main two that see this. You see that up ahead, in the Styx, there is a scattering of debris. This is a very bad map. I apologize. I tried to make
it looks like an old game.
It looks like a really old 2D shooter game.
Cool.
And you can see that the debris here, it's not asteroids necessarily. The debris here looks like huge chunks of a stone building, the wreckage of a ship. It looks like enormous fossilized frozen trees floating through space. Like, it's this chaotic mix of loads of stuff, but it's really dense and it's spread out throughout the entire central cylinder that you're currently flying through. Thalia's just like, unfortunately, sometimes the Styx overlaps into other worlds, into debris fields, asteroid fields, that sort of thing, or even sometimes planets or areas, and it will copy some of the things it sees there. It generates mess like this. We should be fine as long as... And then there is a loud trilling alarm that seems to spread out through the cockpit. And Bim is just like, oh, by the nines, by the balls. Thalia, we have company. And he brings up a small little kind of like illusion projected from the console, which shows that appearing through similar tears that you entered from are 3 ships. In fact, actually, no. Let's roll a d6 before I do this. I forgot that I was going to randomize. So, who wants to roll a d6 for me?
Oh, you want one of us?
Rhiannon does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rhiannon does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, in
Agent
He's gonna roll
Chaos,
6.
Rhiannon.
That's all right.
2. Okay. It's not too bad, is it?
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Right, I just need the right layer.
I wonder if that means
So, yes,
one ship.
you see 3 ships emerge from similar tears. These all appear to be, when you look at them, they are a kind of graying yellow in colorization. They look almost husk-like or carapace-like. They are studded with strange spines and fins. And they look like they don't hold more than maybe 1 or 2 occupants at a time. They're much smaller than the Twin Star. But they appear out. They seem to orientate themselves and then immediately gun towards the Twin Star. Bim calls out, he's just like, Gith Yankee, Thalia, they're raiders coming for us. There's probably more of them somewhere up ahead. And Thalia is just like, right. All right, everyone, hold on. This is going to get dicey. Ayla, I trust that you are up in one of the guns. If not, get into one now. Kyrie, you too. She turns back. Nova, my dear, I'm going to need you back in the engine, and get your big friend Sentry to help you as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Make sure that make sure that Lucius is not going to, I don't know, hurt himself. And then she immediately kind of turns her attentions to the controls. So everybody who has a station on the ship, and those of you who don't have one, so Lucius, I would recommend you familiarize yourself with the gunner actions. If you go to the newspaper tab, the journal, you should see handouts, co-pilot actions, engine actions, and gunner actions, as well as the stats for the Twin Star Longbow.
Ooh. Hello.
Wow, you should be able to see those. These tell you how your station works. So this will tell you what actions you can take on your turn. These will tell you what damage the weapons do. These tell you all sorts of things. Big Cat is up in the cockpit as well. He comes to pop pads in. And they'll tell you what you can do. And other stuff. When you guys did Descent into Avernus, this is very much based on the War Machine rules. So it's going to use similar stuff, right? But the first thing we need to do is roll some initiative, is the first thing we're going to do.
Is that for everybody?
Yes, that is,
or is it like
indeed for everybody. No, it is for everybody. Oh, that's a very
I didn't know if it was like Twin Star or, versus these things.
No, so Thalia's piloting it, so I'll use Thalia's initiative for the ship itself. And then you guys will have your own turns to do your own actions.
Oh,
yep. D20 plus 3. So Nova, yours is 11, yes?
Yep.
Ayla, total?
10.
10. Quill, total?
18.
18. Sentry?
17.
17 total. Lucius?
16.
16. Yeah, Sentry, you are technically in the engine station as well, so familiarize yourself with engine. Cool.
Right.
These 3 ships waste no time. They come screaming out of the breach point, and they are basically going to accelerate to get into a position to shoot at you. In fact, they already are. Each square on the map represents 20 feet, by the way.
Cool.
Okay.
I mean, at this point, imagine that you are all traveling at the same speed, so you can't really go forward unless Thalia takes the boost action, which is the dash action. But these guys just come in and they come blasting. Arcane energy arcs out the front of these strange insect-like ships, and it attempts to blast the Twin Star. Can somebody get the Twin Star stats up and remind me of its AC? Just because I've got to flip through a lot of tabs otherwise.
I can't see that.
Yeah.
Maybe I. It's alright. I haven't set it so you guys can see it then.
Okay.
Got
4
actions,
players.
but no
Right,
stats.
I've done it, and I'll keep it up as well. I've got it as well now. So the first laser blast is Thalia kind of swerves the ship, and the blast just kind of goes wide as they take a shot at this thing. The next one, however, will glance against the hull, and it deals. Let me see here, 2d6 plus 4. So it deals 8 points of damage to the hull of the thing, which is not enough to go over the damage threshold. So actually, you don't take any damage. So the impact kind of sends the ship shuddering. You kind of feel like the blast hit the hull. But Nova in the engine room and Quill, you can see that no damage has actually been detected to the ship itself. The blast wasn't strong enough to really give it enough oomph to do that.
Cool.
Yeah. And then the final ship will take one more shot, but this one also Thalia manages to swerve and avoid as the blast smashes into a piece of debris nearby. After the enemy goes, it is Quillek and Kolar.
Okay, so I will use the guide action, which means I can help another station. So what would that be? Because obviously with the gunner, I imagine that's spotting ships, pointing out targets, things like that. And how is that? What are the other stations I can help with? So engineering.
So the helm, which is engineering, which is the guys, you can do Arcana checks to basically help them make engineering checks, or you can do. I guess it would also be perception for the pilot as well. So for Thalia, if she has to make any piloting checks, which to navigate through this debris field, she's going to have to do.
Okay. I will use. So when I make it against a station, does that mean both gunners? I'm assisting both of them, or am I assisting one?
You choose one. You choose one. So you choose Ayla, I'd imagine.
I know that Kyrie's a good shot already, so yeah, I'll assist Ayla just to make sure she does hit the hit. Okay. So yeah, I'll assist.
Sure. So you make a perception check.
Do I even
DC 13.
Do I even need to? 20.
No, you didn't need to.
Nice.
So yeah, you begin sending Ayla like information, like they're coming up on the left. They're coming. You kind of relay information to her to help her aim.
Fire
so
ahead
Ayla, on your
of them,
attack, you have
like
advantage. Yeah. Ayla, you have advantage on your attack roll. Sentry, is there anything you would like to do?
So is it possible to like hold an action in this? So be like, if the ship takes damage. So can I do that?
Yep,
can I hold
absolutely.
action, say if the ship takes damage, then I will attempt to help Nova charge the weapons and shields.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. So you're going to hold your action to help Nova, basically. You can also just help her now and then give her advantage on her check. So you could just take the help action and give Nova help now, which is different because you're in the same station.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So you're going to use your action and give Nova advantage on her check. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll do that.
Lucius. What is Lucius doing at this time?
I will attempt to help in some way, so I'll get out of crew quarters and look around panicked, and then go to one of the gunners. Because I didn't have the tour, though, can I roll a d4 to see which gunner I
see which one you go to? Sure, we'll say evens for Ayla's, odds for Kyrie's.
1.
Right.
Yikes.
So you go and you're like, oh, there's 2. And you begin like climbing up the ladder that you can see that leads up. And all you see is like a feathered wing. You see like this young girl's face turn around. She kind of goes bright red.
Hi.
And she's just like, bah!
Can I help?
And then well, we'll see. You can just take that help action actually. So you're just going to try and point out like targets and help her.
While she's looking at me, if the a ship comes into visible range, I'll be like, look, shoot it.
And then she turns around, yeah. So, and she's just like, you probably should be up here. And then she kind of turns her attention back to it. But yeah, you've given her the help action. Perfect.
Right.
Nova, is there anything you would like to do?
Can I charge the weapons, please?
Yes, you can do that.
So that is a Arcana check? Yeah.
Yes.
Roll.
So DC 10.
And then also, do I have advantage as well from Centra?
You do, yes. I mean, you've already succeeded, but sure.
See how much more I succeed. I get a 20. I got a 25 and an 18.
You did.
So
yeah, it doesn't. It very quickly you send power to the weapons, which gives them 3 shots before they need to be recharged. So you send the sufficient power to both weapons. They can now fire 3 times before you need to recharge them.
So is that 3 turns?
Okay.
Or is it 3 shots?
3 shots. 3 shots. So, for example, Ayla has extra attack, which means she can shoot twice. That's 2 shots.
Right, I see. Okay.
Oh, does that apply here? Oh, okay.
Yes, yeah,
Ooh.
absolutely. Yeah. You can use extra attack. Yeah, for sure. It's your skill of being able to, like, find the targets and fire quickly and stuff.
Pull the trigger fast enough.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Nova, that's your go. Ayla, you may take a shot.
Hello. Okay, so it's with advantage because Quill has
Given you an aim,
that out
yes.
to me.
It's a good job.
Fucking hell!
Wow.
Oh my god,
3 and a
Katie.
2.
Roll 20 hates Katie. It's like 2s and 1s,
I
2
hate
natural 20s,
this
nothing.
entire
It's
thing.
just like it. So yeah, you
So,
fire 2 shots,
It's a
but
plus
they
6
go wide.
on it, so that doesn't work.
Not-
And then the second
These
one.
little ships dart around. The first ship darts to the side. 13's okay.
13 plus 6. 19.
19
hit.
just manages to catch one of these. Oh, actually, does it? I'm looking at the wrong ship stats.
It's hit 18, it says.
That's your. No, that's the damage it
Oh,
deals.
it's
So
the damage.
that's just like the auto
Oh,
damage.
nice.
Well, you're gonna roll the damage if it hits. Kyrie does the default damage. Sadly, these raiders are extremely agile and they
19 doesn't
zip
hit.
out of the way. No. Well, the
I'm
ships have
never gonna
different
hit!
Well,
If I can't hit with
Oh,
a 19,
man.
I'm
I mean,
never
you
gonna
guys can
do it.
still, if you want to use stuff like using spells like Bless, you can do stuff like that. Like, you have ways of boosting your own skill checks.
I'm guessing my advantage doesn't go for both of her attacks. It's just the first one.
No, it did. It was for both attacks, yeah. She rolled it with advantage.
Oh,
right?
wait. I think the second one you didn't roll an advantage on, I mean.
Yeah, she did.
I
She
did
rolled
it
4
2 and a
times
3
You
and a
did.
13.
to attack.
Yeah.
Oh, you did, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't see you rolled a 3, 2, 3, and 13. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, rub
Kate's
it
gonna
in.
murder you.
It's a good thing you're socially
So I do-
isolated right now.
Absolutely nothing this turn.
Okay.
your
Thalia
first time
manages
firing a
to
gun?
keep... Yeah, exactly. Thalia manages to keep the ship from impacting into any of the debris, but because you're basically going at the same speed as these raiders, she does not gain any advantage on them for now. But she does manage to avoid smashing into anything. The raiders will first make a test to see if they can avoid being smashed. Yes, they just do. Yeah, all 3 of them do. And then they are going to shoot at you some more. As they do so. Miss. Hit. And a miss. So again, 3 volleys come in, but only one of them really connects. Bloody hell. rolling not great damage. Bloody hell. This one, again,
Roll
also
20 hates everybody.
It does hate everyone. The damage just glances across the hull. And yeah, just nothing significant happens as the ship takes another blast. Oh, I forgot about Kyrie's attack, actually. She will take a shot at one of them. She also misses. She's too panicked by Lucius being there, whereas like Lucius is like, oh, she had advantage, actually. Because Lucius gave her one. So, Lucius, you point out, like, there's one there! And she kind of throws the controls and fires, and the blast comes flying out and smashes into one of these smaller ships.
I'll do a little...
she does the default damage. So one of them takes 18 points of damage. So you can see the blast hits into the carapace of this ship. It nearly knocks it off pace. It does cause a mishap. So do you want to roll... Lucius, you roll for me a d20.
Okay.
So it went past the threshold then?
16.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it went past its threshold. So you can see that the armor on the outside of this carapace of this little fighter, a huge chunk of it has been blown off, and you can now see like internal structures and workings. Its damage threshold is reduced until that is repaired, which these little ships can't repair
Look what
themselves.
you did to that ship that's really far in the vacuum.
Yeah, Lucius, you are now looking into that green swirling vortex of these horrid souls flying around, and it's terrifying. As you do so. Quillick.
I am going to do, again, use the help action on Ayla. And sort of point at the same one and say, okay, now aim a little bit further ahead. Now you know how slow the bullets travel. A little further ahead.
Try again. So,
try again this
check.
time. Oh my god, I'm Falco! Yeah!
He's so happy.
Bird in space!
He's so happy.
11.
Mr. Big Boy Perception, you are trying to call out, but the ships come streaming past. It's hard to get like a bead on them. You're trying to call out to Ayla, but there's just too much going on that you unfortunately do not guide her this turn. Sentry.
I think I'll use the help action again on Nova and give her more advantage.
Give her advantage. Okay.
I just say to her, you know this better than I do. If there's anything I can do to help, let me know.
Woo! High five!
And yeah, Nova, you know that if certain systems get damaged, Sentry's going to have to fix them because they normally require brute strength. Lucius.
I'm going to ask the bird lady, what sort of energy does this thing fire?
I don't know! It just shoots light or something! And you can see, like, she's not freaking out because of the fight. She's freaking out because you're here. She's just like, why? You should... And she's, like, looking around, but, like, the fight doesn't bother her. When she's, like, focusing, she's just like... But your presence is freaking her out really bad. Is that it? You just ask a question?
I'm going to cram into the gunner seat with her because I feel like I'm helping.
Oh, dude. Okay, hang on. I'm going to make a check for her.
Oh, no.
I feel
she freaks out when you're like trying to like get into the seat with her. She's like, what are you doing? And she's going to shove you.
I'm stepping on things like... Yeah.
Make an acrobatics check or an athletics check for me.
Okay.
I better not break her little figures.
She got a 15.
11.
No, she shoves you and you fall down the ladder. Like she's like, and she panics and like shoves you, and then you're like down below. I'm sorry. And then she calls out as she does so. But yeah, like getting in her personal space freaked her out, and she just was like, Nova.
Lucius is the only person who could die inside a ship that has taken no damage.
Nova.
I can't decide. Weapons or engine?
The weapons you don't need to... Well, you could charge Ayla's weapon.
The weapon is... Wait, is it 3 each? Or is it 3 altogether? Because 3 shots have been fired.
True, you've got extra attack. Yeah, we'll do it with extra attack. So it's like using extra attack is 1 shot. but even though you get to fire twice, so 3 turns effectively. Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's
in which case, I will do a boosty check.
Okay.
So that's
Arcana
a
check.
15 Arcana. Okay.
Yes.
With
if
advantage,
you fail the check
20.
by 5 or more.
Oh yeah.
28.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a natural 20 as well. Woo!
It was a natural
Nice.
20. So you watch as, you call out, you kind of, do you say anything to Thalia, or you just, like, engage boost?
Captain, I'm giving it all she's got!
Yeah.
I was
Yes.
waiting for you to do that. Right. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, and you hear her just like, excellent work, sweetheart, and then she rams forward on the controls, and you feel the ship lurch as... you can only do that boost action, by the way, Kim. I didn't put this in the notes. Only 3 times can you do a boost. And then it needs an extended rest. It needs like a time for the ship to regain its energy. It needs
The
refueling,
nitrous
sorry.
needs to refill.
Yeah, you don't get Vin Diesel's nitro. Ayla.
They're out of range, so I can't shoot them. So I'll take the
You can
aim
hold
action.
an action. Oh, you could do it. Yeah, you can aim. Yeah.
Take the aim action for the next turn.
Okay, perfect.
That will just give me advantage next time.
Yes. Yeah, it will. Thalia, however, unfortunately on this turn, actually no, 15. Yeah, she still gets enough. She manages to avoid any more of the debris as the ship kind of like fires in and out in between these large chunks of detritus of various forms. A huge stone column comes spinning through, but she manages to avoid it. At the top of the round, and then Kyrie is the last one to go. She's out of range. She will take the aim action as well. The enemy will try and surge forward. They can take the boost action once, which they will do now. They will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then they will make checks to see if they can successfully pilot. One guy goes smashing into something. The other 2 are fine. But one guy takes, and I'll say this is the one that was damaged by Kyrie's blast earlier. One guy takes, where's D10s? You watch as one ship gets too close to a huge fossilized tree, and he just doesn't manage to get out of the way as this huge trunk comes slamming down on the front of the ship. Where the armor had already been ripped off, it just explodes into like light, and you just watch as the tiny little ship just pops apart, basically, as it does so.
Oh my god.
Pop. Awesome. But then they're going to take a couple of shots in the ship's direction. However, I am rolling as bad as Katie, so only one of them were hit. And this one does 11 points, which is over the threshold, so the ship takes 11 points of damage total. Hull
Not mishap
points.
damage.
No mishap damage, which is good. That's the main thing you want to avoid.
Sure.
And after those guys go, it's another round. So Quill, your turn.
Okay, knowing that, I guess we're communicating and like Katie's using aim.
Yeah,
actions,
you can just shout and stuff to each other.
I will then communicate with Kyrie for the first time and say, enemies this way. I guess I've got like a compass on me and like a radar
I killed your
thing,
friend!
right? Which one, Lucius? Focus on the bad guys, the actual bad guys. You pushed him!
Sure. Make a perception check.
Sure. Perception. 27.
Wow.
Easy done. Alright, so she has advantage. Okay, cool. Sentry.
Perfect.
I'll do the help again.
Okay. If
I
you
just
want to
keep
go
on
to like
helping.
somebody else,
Keep on helping.
if you want to go and like help somebody else, you can do. You don't have to stay in that position, but yeah, you can help Nova. I mean, to be
That's
honest,
all
it
good.
does help. Okay.
Yeah. I'll
So
keep on
yeah,
helping.
you're just assisting Nova in the engine room. Lucius, you are currently prone at the bottom of some stairs.
I'm gonna get up and then
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna just dart my eyes to all the different exits from this central area. It's like I could go to the cockpit and help there. I could go to the other gunner and help there. Go to the engine, and I'll just messenger ring. Does anyone need help or something? I don't know what to do.
And that's the response you get. Nova.
They're all still charged, aren't they, for weapons? Weapons are still charged.
They've still got two more turns of shooting.
They are okay.
You can just basically be like, yeah, I'm gonna hold my action. I'm not gonna do anything this turn.
I'm just thinking of doing another boosty. I'm just thinking of trying to get us like ahead. Like,
sure.
I guess I'll shout up and be like, what do you want? Boost, shield, or engines? No, guns. And then can I hold my action until Captain Quill or Captain Talia tells me what to do?
Sure. All right. Sounds good. Ayla.
I will shoot, I guess.
Sure.
Now that they're close
You have
enough.
advantage. Yep. AC, you have advantage. Good job. You had
I
advantage.
still rolled a fucking 2.
Yeah, but you got 18.
So
Plus 6, 24.
And the second one, 14 plus 6.
20. Both of those hit. So resolve the damage
Okay,
separately,
fine.
so it's 3d10 plus 2.
That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, these
17,
are
18,
big cannons.
19. And
yeah.
13, 14, 15.
15. So the second small raider, I'm not even going to roll mishap because these two shots from Ayla, and you feel the whole kind of little turret that you're in kind of rocks and shudders as you fire. The two blasts of light smash into the insect carapace, and it just crumbles into nothing, into space dust, into astral dust, as the two blasts hit Ayla.
I think I'm getting the hang of it now! This is really cool!
Thalia calls out, great shot, kid, but don't get cocky. Nova...
Don't
We're getting all our rocks off today.
Yeah. She will call back. She deftly avoids another large piece of debris and then calls back and is like, Nova, as soon as Kyrie finishes shooting, hit that boost.
Affirmative, Captain.
Kyrie takes a shot, but is too busy looking over the railing to make sure that Lucius isn't dead. She has advantage. Thank you.
Yeah,
well remembered. Which is a hit. So thanks to Quill's guidance, she takes a shot. She just does 18. I gotta remember. She just does flat out 18 when she shoots. Perfect. So yeah, the blast hits, and you can see the other. You can see the other raider is now kind of skimming and stuttering and kind of falling all over the place. It does suffer a mishap as well.
Whoops.
And you see that its main cannon explodes, and then the raider just sort of peels away and gives up because it no longer has a gun. Right. And that is where we're going to finish today's episode as the engine boost. So we'll make it just to see, because Nova can fuck up the boost. So Nova, hit the boost.
I accidentally rolled completely the wrong thing there, so ignore that one.
Just make another roll. Just do another roll.
20 on one, and what are you going to take from the first one? Like 19 plus 8, I guess?
No, I mean...
Because I had advantage.
Like, yeah, just take the 19.
I was going to roll
without
again,
any problems...
Keep rolling.
Without any issues, the ship flies forward. And you seem to have escaped the pursuers. However, those, I think, for Quill and Lucius, who are the closest to the cockpit, you do hear Bim sort of like, this is... 3 raiders isn't very many. I don't know. Something's not quite right here. And she's kind of looking things over. And you begin to feel a kind of warping in space as a much larger vessel appears. I think they were running from something. As another ship appears. A giant mollusk. A giant mollusk-like Nautiloid.
I don't like that.
With 5 big tentacles.
Tendrils.
Definitely illithid. Definitely illithid.
Oh, that's amazing.
And that's where we're going to end today's episode, as the Nautiloid reaches through into Styx space That was the warm-up. That was the tutorial, guys. That was the learn how the ship works.
Yeah.
That was so fun.
We took no
Do a
damage.
barrel roll,
so...
Bucks. You did take damage.
Hey Einstein, I'm on your side. Gee, I've been saved by Fox. How swell.
Do a barrel roll.
So we just need to get a sentient frog and a sentient rabbit and a sentient fox, and then you've got it complete, Tom. Get old Slippy, old Slippy in here.
We got Big Cat already.
That's true.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh no,
anyway,
that'd be Star Wolf. We don't align with Star Wolf.
All right,
No,
calm
sorry.
down now. All right.
God.
Nobody cares about your Lilac Wars fantasy. All right. Okay.
Andross's
Thank
enemy
you,
is
everybody.
my enemy.
Shut up, Tom.
Fuck's sake.
Oh my god.
Fuck's sake.
Read some donations.
Right. I'm trying to wrap the stream up so you can read donations, please.
Okay.
Thanks everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed the episode. It's been a lot of fun. Tom Trot's just cut to Humes. Just get to Humes. while he's doing this. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. We will be back on Thursday for Curse of Strahd. So come and join us on the High Rollers Twitch channel for that. Don't forget to check out our sponsors, D&D Beyond and NordVPN as well. Check out Nova, who's coming up in Idle Champions, and grab some merch off of our merch store as well. How about that? Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah, very cool.
And then we're going to read some donos. Take it away, Tommy.
Yes, indeed I am. Trust my instincts. That's another one. Zeki640. First time watching live. I started watching because I love Sentry, Ayla, and Quill in Idle Champions, and I'm super excited for Nova and Lucius to be added. I caught up in 2 months, and now I'm up to episode 9 of Lightfall 2. Thanks for all the entertainment. Well, thank you very much, and thank you for playing Idle Champions as well, and getting the characters. Rush Draco with a quarter hundo. I love you, guy. Been watching since episode 80 of Lightfall. Figured I'd donate something of what I can for the years of entertainment. Keep it up. Love you. Thank you very much. Ghost of Sprinkles. Need to be a part of VOD Squad today. Hope y'all have fun today. Stay safe, stay sane, and wash your damn hands, you nasties. Gold Rose Blue with a quarter hundo. Hi, High Rollers. First time catching you guys live, but I just wanted to say thank you for all the hard work you put into this. Hope you're all staying safe, healthy, and happy. Thank you very much. Nightjar with just a less than 3 heart. Thank you very much, you too. Cadrian, or Cadrian, with a hundo. Ack, gonna be a part of the VOD Squad today. I didn't even notice my alarms here in the West US. But I decided to give you guys some pocket change to show our appreciation for these uncertain times. Well, thank you very much for the generous donation. Big pockets.
Yeah, thank you.
Big pockets.
Thank you very much. Varys with a donation and no message. Thank you very much. Darth Day 41. Man, these weeks just seem to be flying by with all of the High Rollers content you're giving us these days. There's a lot. There's a lot. Curse of Strahd, High Rollers, Aerois. High Rollers? I don't know why I said High Rollers. There's High Rollers. Chaos Twins.
20s.
Oh, we're playing.
Yeah,
we're playing Dark Souls on Tuesday. The Neb.
Oh my god.
Not caught you live for a little while, but here at last. And then this emote. How do the new fresh merch tees measure up against the old ones before the change? Same sizes? I need me some merch. Katie?
The sizes of the fresh merch. The sizes of the ones in this collection are the same as the Prime collection. They're the same base products. In terms of old Yogscast ones, they are different products to those. They are higher quality than the ones that we used to use. So just I would check the measurements if those are the ones you're referring to. But if you've got our old collections, then the same.
Yes. Mudkip, Mudkip is back again. Tom, I feel like we got off on a bad foot. I know it was your fault, but I'll be a bigger man / Pokemon with all your vices in killing harmless Mudkips like myself and my family. I don't even remember killing a Mudkip. That's the worst part.
How awful you are.
Yeah, you're terrible.
Tom, we'll get through life together. Love, faithful Mudkip. Well, thanks. Miss you, buddy. I don't know. Kenku Noises with just over a quarter hundo. I wish for more noises. Maybe there weren't enough sound effects this time round for Kenku noises.
I'll get on that. I'll work on that for next time. I'll get a lot of
Criminal Sapling. Criminal Sapling. Hi, quick update. Last month I told you that thanks to my new job in Corona, I haven't been able to see my wife for a while. I do remember that one. This weekend, my wife was able to come visit me. Hey! Which makes it the first time.
That's awesome.
First time I've seen her in 4 months. Thank you for getting me through it. Well, congratulations on the reunion. That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Good news.
Frank the NPC. Frank the NPC. Yes, Mark. The representation in She-Ra was great, despite the cheesiness. I love how they were just there without being given special notice, as though they were being shown off. The main story between Adora and Catra was just a great romance story, period. Perfect.
You're right, Ree?
What?
Oh.
It's just like,
What?
it's not a spoiler, but it is a spoiler, but it's not a spoiler, but it is a spoiler. It's just like, okay, right.
Oh,
Thanks.
Oh,
Right,
should I not have
anyway.
said the bit where She-Ra dies?
No. Yeah, okay, thanks, Tom. Good job. Fuck's sake. Fuck's sake.
Conan the Barbarian 22. Keep up the great work during these hard times. Been watching since the Lightfall, and you guys always cheer me up when I'm down. Thank you very much. New Alex. Good stuff again. You need to get the Tassadar plans? Probably a suicide mission. Many adventurers died trying to retrieve them. I was trying to think of a terrible dad joke that mentions a level 1 rogue, but you got lucky this time. I'm sure you did.
Yeah.
Ravager 4. Hope you're all having a great day, High Rollers. I'll be catching up on the VOD squad later. Can't wait to see what hijinks the gang get into. This time, I'm predicting a high-octane space battle. You got it. Sure hope no one gets jettisoned out into the void. Cinder Tiefling. Yeah, just caught up after nearly 2 years of study. Glad to be back. Wonderful. Welcome back, Cinder Tiefling. And a quick refresh. That is all. We're all caught up. Bam. Trop, any on Yogos?
Yes. Ace
Yes.
of Thorns donated. The Kessel run continues. Hugs. Thank you.
There it is.
Oh, don't worry.
Yep.
I'll get my
Kessel
Kessel
run.
run in there. Don't worry. I'll get
Yeah,
that
I'm
in.
waiting for it.
That's it.
That's it. All right.
there we go.
Perfect. Well, thank you much, everybody. Thank you for all your support on any platform. We appreciate it. Go and check stuff out. We will see you next week. Have a lovely Sunday. We love you. We miss you. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Have a great day.
Goodbye.
Bye, y'all.